800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us, Doral Hyundai, or DoralHyundai.com. A poor third quarter did in the heat as they fell to the Magic 133-124. Next up, the Bulls today, Saturday, and Sunday. The Miami Hurricanes basketball team defeated Stanford 79-70. They host Cal Saturday at 4. Reuben Bain Jr. is the first Canes player to receive the Ted Hendricks Award, which is given to college football's best defensive end. And the Panthers, they're in St. Louis tonight to play the Lowly Blues at 8 o'clock. I am Dan Day, and it's time now for the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, and happy Thursday morning to everybody out there. Man, I love this weather. I don't know about you, but going outside, knowing it's we don't get a lot of them now. We don't get a lot of these, but 50 in the morning just to kind of get it started. I have all these sweaters. I don't get to wear them a lot unless I'm on the road in the Northeast late in the football season. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. Hey, speaking of nice, a nice win last night for the Canes. I can't say that for the loss that the Miami Heat have, and we're going to get into all that. Matter of fact, Woody worked late last night on the basketball game, so he won't be with us. You just heard all day Dan Day and Dave Hyde with us as well. So, and Jamie, of course, always with us in the morning, does a great work on social media for us, and we love the kid, and we live to him sometimes. I got him on the special pills. Apparently, they're working. Hey,
you gotta be kidding me. He doesn't need those pills.
Oh no, he tried one, and he said, "Can I have more, please?"
You're gonna ruin your 40s. You know, your 30s are gone. You keep doing this.
The special pill only known to older men.
Joel, that was supposed to be our little secret,
I'm sorry,
man.
brother. I'm sorry, but hell,
you got outed.
You got
there's no.
Well, we sit here and talk sports all the time, and I was like, I've been with you now for months, and the only thing you were excited about is you told me it really worked. It was unbelievable, and I said, "Wow, I told you."
Only thing? What do you mean? I come in here and talk about the Dolphins and Panthers and Heat every day with you.
No, you do. I said you do a lot of sports.
I know how it feels, Jamie. I was sitting here last time with Joe and Kim, and they turned on me. On my life, like, Joe, were you really a virgin out of high school? And I was like, hubba. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to turning it on me.
I know.
Nobody's safe.
By the way, I'm gonna be better today if they turn it on me.
Hey, Dave,
yeah, there you go. You gotta fight back a little bit.
I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Dave, not to hurt your image at the Sun Sentinel and stuff. so I do have to ask you, why is it so weird? I'll have guys come up to me and go, and listen, man, we're in our 60s now. And I go, were you really a virgin in high school? And I go, yeah. Like, is that like something wrong with me?
All my friends were virgins. We went to an all-guys school.
Hey, man, if you came from
we had no luck. We were nerds.
Small town, strict Catholic family. And I got to tell you.
Joe, you were a football, so you have no excuse. I was underdeveloped.
I was an ugly kid that had a gap about 6 inches between the teeth up front, super skinny. But besides all that stuff, I had a mother that was on top of everything, man. And she some little gal looked like she was going to be looking
same
for
here. My
mother had a radar up, and she goes, "You're not going out with her, not under my watch."
I remember a girl called me in high school, and my mom, "You don't want those girls who call you." And I was like, I don't. Oh, I don't.
And my mom,
it took me to college.
She did try to hand pick me a couple of little Catholic gals, and I go, nah, that's not my kind of girl there, Mom. I want one of those little naughtier girls. Anyway, yeah. So, hey, enough of that, Dave. And that's every time
Jamie,
I
helped
see
you. I turned the attention to us away from you. So.
Hey, man, we got a lot of stuff. First of all, good win for the Canes last night, and Jay Lucas will join us. Gets that win. They were down at the half, come back in the second half and win that game. So he'll join us at 8 o'clock. Brian Geltzeiler is going to join us this morning, our NBA insider. And this thing, it teases you a little bit, and they get 2 quick wins, and then they come back home. He's got a lot of problems on this team. It really is. It's got 2 personalities. It's a roller coaster. It's last night the Magic beat them for the 4th time this year. Ugly third quarter. Not the first time we said that in this town, matter of fact. Ugly third quarter. And so last night to get outscored 40-20. They've got obviously Tyler Hero out. I don't know when he's going to be back. Davion Mitchell's not playing. Khalil Ware, I know he's back, and I heard Spo say he's working him back slowly.
He's got that Hassan Whiteside complex.
Yes, he does.
I'm afraid
I think he sees what I can see him. And remember when Riley said he's got to find a way to we just gave him $90 million. You got to find a way for this guy to work out where the doubles are good, and because he used to get doubles, and Spo hated his game, hated it.
But I think, look, I remember talking to Mike Leach, the Texas Tech coach, about Wes Welker once, and he said Wes Welker taught me something. He goes, I'd be talking to the team, and Wes Welker would be fixated on me. And he goes, focus cannot be taught. It is a talent. And so is effort and all that. So I can play harder. Well, you can make him to a point, but he is who he is. And I think that's with Ware. He is who he is. You either take it and you can try to coach it up to the whatever it is, but there's only a level he can get to.
We've had some guys on the football team have that same knock. I'm going to name some of them later in the show, but they're like really good players, but they take plays off. And I'm like, okay. And of course, they see that in college, and they're going, hey, they're really good. They dominate, but at times they just look like they're not interested. We're watching them play, and then they'll play against a guy really good, and they just dominate the guy. Second or third round pick guys, and end up being those kind of guys. And but his upside, then they go in the upside, and we think we can get him to play hard. He'll mature and he'll play hard. And I'm like, you know what I've learned through the years? Stay away from those guys.
Yep, absolutely.
Because they're going to bring some of that stuff to you. They get comfortable. They're on the team. Then you're at practice. You really want to get after it, and they're like not feeling it. And they do just enough, and they tease you just enough that you keep them around, and then they break your heart in a crucial time in a game. So this Giannis Antetokounmpo, I was slowly working to it. I know Ira thinks I
don't think there's any chance. I looked at all the packages.
Ours is just not attractive enough.
It's not attractive. When you compare to what Houston, now I don't know what the
young
other teams are going to put up.
Picks.
Yeah. And to me, it starts with this. Do you want to trade Bam? Every trade package from the local writers is Bam's not in because the team is saying Bam will never be traded. So, but he's the attractive player the Heat have. And the second point is if they're going to trade for Giannis, you got to get a 2027 first-round pick because the NBA rules are you cannot trade first-round picks in consecutive years. Right now, the Heat don't have 27 pick, meaning they can't trade 26 and 28. So I hope I explained that right so you can understand. So the point being, and 27, what happened there? That was the Rozier trade. That's why the Heat is so upset with the NBA over
not getting word of what was going on.
Yeah, that they knew what was going on. So should we be compensated? So right now, all they can trade is their 30 and 32 pick. So I just don't see a package without Bam or getting a 27 pick.
Isn't it funny? This Terry Rozier thing it's not just been, it's been a disaster in so many different ways. And it's not just he's not playing right now. He wasn't very good when he was playing. He's been a disaster since he's been
But
here.
don't you think, my theory on like Deshaun Watson, that Terry Rozier, something happens in their life. They are now scarred, emotionally scarred. They cannot mentally play at the same level, get to the same level because they got things going on in their life that are really, messing with everything.
So some people think he's going to be back. They think he's going to beat this. And I'm like, I don't know if he ever beats this because people are going to think it's going to stick with him. Every time he's on the court, every time he goes up and he comes down, he gets hurt, to every time he's out there and he's firing extra shots. What do you think everybody's going to be thinking?
Well, legally right now he has to think, okay, I got to beat it legally. How do I beat it legally? Yeah. And then the second level is basketball. I don't think we'll ever beat it basketballically. I agree.
But the other thing about this is, how does a league, you have to, before you trade somebody, and by the way, we got a little investigation. We think we're good, but if you want Terry, well, obviously he's not going to take him if there's a potential investigation going on.
And how could you not? Even if it's, how could you not tell the team?
Hey, from the NBA standpoint, they're done with it, but the federal government might take a look at it. Come on, what? Anyway, So we got egg on our face on that one. And for what we're talking about, it has hurt this team so many different ways, including the pick.
Yeah, trying to put a package together. Because you look at, I think Houston has 4 first-round picks they could trade, and a roster of young players that who do they want to trade? Golden State, I don't quite get why.
Well, Golden State's just going for it. They're like Steph Curry's running out of time and still playing a high level.
But why would Milwaukee want Jimmy Butler? Even his salary, I get, it's for salary. But Milwaukee's not going to get a
I don't
free
think
agent.
Golden State has a shot. I'm with you.
Brian Windhorst was on ESPN saying Golden State's the team. And I guess I'd have to sit there and think about it a lot harder than I
know.
Have.
They're breaking on ESPN this morning, and several teams have made aggressive offers for Giannis. And it's clear he wants out. I think he's wanted out for a while, by the way he's talking. Sometimes we get where athletes start saying stuff and you're going, and they don't want to come all out because they don't want the fan base to turn on them. So they go, man, this is ridiculous. We just don't play well. And it wears on the team, and they finally go, we got to get rid of him.
I think this is mutual. I think Milwaukee wants to trade him too. This is a time where they're not winning.
No.
They've won a title. They're not winning now. They know they need to. So, it could be mutual. If the Heat somehow do get him and somehow keep Bam, they have a starting 5 that can win the East then.
Well, they got really
now
good.
They're not real deep, but the
bench can be a little thin.
But you take those 5 if they stay healthy.
Well, so anyway, we've got that, and then we've got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to get to here this morning with everything going on. So Mike McDaniel, people making a big deal about things Mike has said and stuff, and I listened to his stuff. People go, you got to listen to it. I wasn't bothered by anything he had to say. He's fired. What do you want him to say? That he's sad to go to the Chargers? And Mike McDaniel, our former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, absolutely looked at every job, and he had some opportunities. He looked at, I think he was looking at who's got a chance to stay around as far as a head coach. He don't want to go somewhere the coach gets fired, because that means he didn't do his job. He was looking for stability and going to Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, who have been very good the last 2 years. Very good. I think they've gotten max out of what they have, considering that offensive line was a disaster with their starting tackles out. So he's going to be going from Tua to Justin Herbert, first of all. And he's trying to downplay a little bit so he's not taking shots at just how far behind Tua is physically from what Justin Herbert is and the things he's going to be able to do, from running to throwing and the running game they're going to have. But he also he's going to get Alton Slater back at the tackle positions. Those guys, now, they've both been injured. But when they play, they're both high first-round looking dudes. They're both really
best
good
tackle
players.
Tandem in the league.
Yes, by far. So I just think Mike, who's going to get paid like a head coach the next 2 years, because we owe him damn near $20 million. So deducted whatever he's going to make his offense coordinator. He's going to get his money though. No matter what, he's going to be getting the amount of money he was supposed to get.
He's getting $19 million over the next 2 years.
Yes, he is.
That's
from
the
that
number.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So look at this, Dave. He's going to get paid like a head coach, even though he's an offensive coordinator. He's going to run that whole offense, and he handpicked a team where he's going to have a chance. If they stay healthy as a group with the running backs they have, big, strong running back. We saw it up close when they had 7, 8, and 9 on the offensive line playing. That was terrible offensive line. They beat us down here in the last second of the game. He absolutely, I was looking at all the jobs, and he wanted to go back to California, kind of where he spent a lot of his life. His wife's from there. Pretty smart move. I mean, that is the place. 2 years getting paid. He may just go right from getting paid like a head coach into a head coaching job again.
I think it's a great career move for him to, when you look at, okay, he comes in and they're going to get healthy. Assuming they get healthy, well,
he has to.
They also, their playmakers are very average. So
yes,
assuming they upgrade a little, all of a sudden this offense that had trouble this past year, and Justin Herbert, who everybody keeps waiting to make a playoff step. I mean, I don't know how he could have played well he played bad in the playoffs. He played awful last year. But with the talent around him, I'm not sure. Anyways, Mike has a chance to upgrade this offense, and everybody will say, what a great job. And it will be. You know what? I'm rooting for him. I have no ill will towards – we're used to this. We're used to guys going out.
He's really a hard guy to dislike. Most of our guys have been like that anyway. So also, the other part to this, Butch Berry is going to be his offensive line coach because he likes a certain style, and Butch Berry, who's been in San Francisco with him to here, knows that style of running. And it's built – a lot of it's outside. And so I think Mike played this man perfectly. And listen, he told one of his best friends in the league, Dan Quinn, that's his guy, man. They were together when he was at the lowest point in his life, and that guy got behind him. So there is a special bond. He looked at that job and said, "You're not secure enough."
With Jaden Daniels too.
Jaden Daniels,
hurt, but I mean, he's good. He's really good.
That's a good team, and he looked at every. And Mike's checked this whole thing out because he's coached there before in Washington. He's been there, and he goes, "No, my best deal is Harbaugh."
I was going to say there's a perfect combination for him. Jim Harbaugh will. I don't think there's the hard driving Belichick or Don Shula type in the league, or Jimmy when he was with Dallas. There's nobody like that.
Did you have to bring that up?
What
a teaser
I
that was.
I was just thinking. Who's the hardest disciplinarians out there? But Harbaugh has a way of playing football.
Yeah, he does have some old school in him.
Yes, he has some old school in him. So that's perfect to cover for Mike's blemishes here, where the head coach is going to be the bad guy if it needs to be a bad guy,
but he can be himself now. He can do all that stuff he does as the OC. I don't know how much Mike's taken in. He's always seemed like a guy that's pretty good at self-evaluating himself, and I don't mean this as a shot, but rehab will help you evaluate yourself if you've been through that. And I've seen it firsthand what it can do about looking in the mirror. And so I think Mike's going to look at some things because I think he has to change some things. He changed from last year to this year. But I think and I know he doesn't want to change the way he is because that's the way he is. He can't change the way you are. But
his responsibility isn't the culture anymore. I mean, that's Harbaugh. That's right. And
Harbaugh's got that.
And so his is
take
drawing plays and being creative and getting the best. That's what he does. He's very good at that.
You can laugh a little bit more as a coordinator. You can joke around in your meetings when you got all your guys. You're bouncing around from room to room, and the offense, the O-line, go in there. Hey, guys, you're kicking ass. It's great. And get into the whole thing. Anyway, we got a lot of other stuff. Congratulations to Ruben Bain Jr., man. Wins the Ted Hendricks Award, top defensive end in the nation. So, man, I can't wait for the draft. And I'm not trying to speed up time. We don't like to speed up time as we get older. But I'm looking forward to this damn draft to see because the Canes are going to be a big part of this draft. We might have two guys going to top 10 picks. The guy I don't know about, he's going in the first round, is Maui Noah because he can play. Some think he's a top guard.
Yeah,
and one of the top 3 or 4 tackles. And then somebody told me, go, hell no, he's a tackle, Joe. I mean, he could play guard. And I get why people like him but they love him.
The interesting one, and you were the first one that I heard talking about, this was Messidor, of where's he going to go? Because everybody knew he's good, but I thought, third, fourth.
How good was his audition for the playoffs for the NFL? Hey, NFL, I'm getting ready to play against 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams. Tell me how I look. He played his best football. Destroying guys. All right. Hey, we got to go to break here. We got a lot of stuff to get to here this morning. Hey, I want to tell you about a man named Chev. Yeah, I'm talking about the CEO of Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing. And he's got one mission. Make sure you protect your home with a great product and very competitive prices. That's what Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing are all about. And they do it all, man. They are the hat trick for you. If you got no leaky roof, replace your old roof now and pay later. That'll help you. Loctite Impact offers the highest quality roofing materials with lifetime warranty plus thousands of 5-star reviews. Save big on their legendary state-of-the-art Impact Windows and Doors. Impact Windows as low as $6 per window per month installed. Don't wait for the next storm. Get it going now before hurricane season. Visit LoctiteImpact.com. Again, that's LoctiteImpact.com or call 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff covering all of South Florida and to make sure you protect your home with the best Loctite Impact windows, doors, and roofing.
Today's topics are
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. As you're getting up this morning, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind keeping this 50-degree. I think it hit 49 yesterday, 50, 51, 52. Hey, Dave Hyde, man, I kind of like it in the morning.
Are you ready for the 31 and 32 of this
That's a
weekend,
little
though?
cold.
You like that?
But I went to California, and in the morning, outside of Sacramento, California, in the foothills, it was low 30s in the morning. And it warmed up to high 50s to maybe 60. It was a little chilly in the morning. I wasn't looking to do a whole lot at that. Boy, I'll tell you what, you grow up in it, you don't think anything of it out there. But, man,
wow, you think
you live here for a long time,
yeah.
and your ass changes a a bit.
It gets 40 in the winter and up north, and you're like,
what are we looking at?
Nice.
What'd you say? Somebody
31, I think I saw the low this weekend. So you get out there, that's probably late at night, right? Or early morning, and you go out and look for some flurries about then.
Jeez, man, I didn't know we were going to get
I get angry when it gets that cold here. It shouldn't be that cold here. I find myself really getting angry.
Why are we here? We got a couple of these days a year.
This should be illegal here.
and the rest of the country, especially in the Northeast and where, all the different areas that get just vicious winter weather. And they come down here and it's like 35 degrees and it's our lead story. It's the lead story over everything else going on in South Florida. It's a lead story. And the weatherman or weatherwoman becomes the big story. This is what's going on. Prepare yourself. Put a bigger jacket on. And you're going, oh, my God. A lot of us have lived in colder weather, although in California, not exactly where you're from. A little chilly.
I'm from Ohio. It gets, we get sub-zero every for a while, for a week,
We don't get that.
No.
Now, Lake Tahoe gets that, which I'm not too far away from up in the mountains. But no, down on the flat land, we don't hit that.
The only thing that taught me was there are options in life. You don't have to, as I grew up, I don't have to stay here. I don't like this cold. I'll go, where can I go? And took me right to the nice, beautiful weather.
Yeah, no question about it, man. People ask, are you going to leave South Florida when you're done work? A lot of people move, and downsize and follow the kids around and go to another area and I go, hell no, man. I like it here. I like all the sports. What do you think? I'm just going to turn the sports head on? I got to have sports, man. I got to watch a couple of competitive deals going on, occasionally hit a game somewhere. Yeah, I want to still be able to do that and have a couple of cold ones.
I need to boat. I like to boat. I like the I like the weather. I like I could not go back to the north.
Dave, you're a good South Florida guy, by the way.
I've become that.
You weren't like that always?
Myself. No.
Since I've known you, you put me on the phone sometimes with your guys, and you're out 10 miles out in the Atlantic Ocean. You guys are fishing, and you're coming up, and I just saw a huge shark, and I got a lobster, and I'm like, geez, man.
Yeah, I love that. I love
I'll watch you from the dock.
I had a friend, Big Ed, needed a boat partner, meaning, he wants someone to split the cost.
Yeah.
I said, you teach me to boat, I'll be your boat partner. So he taught me to boat. And that was like
you guys
years old.
But you guys really enjoy
we
that.
We go, yeah, we love it.
And your kids love it. Your wife likes it, so it makes it nice.
Except when I practically wrecked the boat a few times. That's not fun.
When you have to fix things off that, yeah, little different situation. But hey, we've got a lot of stuff going on. So we got this trade deadline coming up. Hell, we're just about a week away, if I'm not mistaken, February 5th. You think they do anything? If Riley was like 60 years old right now, he'd be wheeling and dealing. I just don't know where they are right now.
Again, I remember when they traded for Shaq. And
why do I not get a good feeling with this group?
I don't think they have enough talent to trade. Where I look at it and say they have a bunch of average players.
They don't have enough talent to win every night either.
That's who they are. Oh, they're up. They played really good last night. Well, okay, they had their good night, and then they had a bad night. Wins. They had a bad quarter. They don't have that one guy who can stop everything. And again, remember, it's not a good comparison, but if you had Dwayne Wade out there, that's what you need. That's what you need in the NBA, though. You need a good / great team to say we're not going to go on a losing streak. We're not going to be awful and a half.
You know what great players do? They make average players look better too.
Yeah,
I've been there. I've been that guy. And they make you look better when you got really, really good guys around you, guys that are the best at what they do. And I mean, late in the game, those guys make everybody better. And when they're out, and now you got to be that guy, you might be able to do it occasionally, but then you get exposed of being just a
and the Panthers are finding that out this year. It's
by the way,
look, it's an epidemic with the Panthers injuries. But you take Barkov out of that lineup. Yeah, I remember Paul Maurice put it right. He goes, "He's the man.
Yeah,
he's the man. You don't replace him." And
he's been right.
And he's right. He's exactly right. Yeah.
By the way, so they're back in action tonight. But so this thing will be interesting to see if they just say, "Hey, man, we couldn't cut a deal with any major deal with Ja Morant," or what do you think about?
Do you want Ja Morant? You don't want him. He's exactly what the Heat.
He doesn't
haven't traded for. A small guard. Riley believes in big guards win championships, and all his baggage that comes with him.
There's a lot of
how important is winning to him? We haven't seen it.
Just don't pull the Omar on me. Even though this guy could be Omar, he could be in the Omar category. That lifestyle here just kills the team. I believe it. I don't believe that.
When they were winning championships, the lifestyle wasn't killing the team.
No, guys were having fun. Well, listen,
there's
been a lot of guys. And those guys in the 70s had a good time.
That's what I heard from the Panthers from hockey people. Well, it's you gotta be careful who you bring down here. Okay, yeah, be careful. Bring good players down here, and guys where winning matters, and that's really that.
Yeah,
that gets overdone on.
But Ja Morant is
he's has problems. We're in Memphis.
Yeah.
So
now he's going to the big boy party land. But I again. So he doesn't look like, to me, watching him play, he doesn't look like the same guy that played his first year when he was unbelievable. He was doing stuff around the basket. Honestly, we hadn't seen in a long, long time. He could do things, and he was fun to watch. He was as fun to watch as anybody in the league. And then I don't know what happened. I mean, the injuries kicked in a little bit, but he also, all the other junk started hanging around with the wrong guys. I guess the gang signs that meant whatever the hell they mean, where you put your fingers a certain way and stick them out the door. And so anyway, it got got a little sticky.
I don't want you want Giannis. And the question, again, everybody's working around.
Why doesn't Giannis? So he definitely wants to be traded. What I don't understand, why didn't he just come out and just not worry about hurting everybody's feelings? And
he doesn't need
and
to.
Just go,
why?
Hey, man,
why? He doesn't need to.
I want to go there. Make it happen.
Oh, there. Yeah. That'd be the thing.
I want to go there. I won't go there. Jimmy Butler did that. He did that to Pat Riley.
Well,
hell, he didn't want to go to Golden State at first, and then I don't know what happened.
Let's watch this play out. Maybe he's going to say, I don't want to go there. We're not – there's probably
maybe.
They're probably going to him and say, here are the 4 teams that were – I don't know how Milwaukee's playing it. Milwaukee's got to take. Here's the best offer we got, Giannis.
Yeah.
Here's where you're going.
Well, he's got to make sure, because they don't want to trade all this for him, and then after he's going to be a free agent coming up, and he says
he's got power. He's got power.
He does.
So they have to say, here's the 3 teams, or here's the best offer. Are you happy going there?
Yeah.
And if it's Houston, he can win a title. If it's the Heat, he could win with. Depending on what they lose. I don't know where. I just don't understand how the Heat can put a winning offer together without Bam in it, and they don't want to trade Bam.
Bam's not any of these trades. You're exactly right. It seems like just about everybody else is. Matter of fact, Tyler Hero and Khalil Ware seem to be the first 2 names.
But if you're a Milwaukee fan, you're getting Khalil Ware and Tyler Hero and a couple number 1s and 30 and 32 for Giannis. And
they're going to be a lot better offers.
Are you really?
No.
Where are we going with this?
Right. And so anyway, that's where we stand. Although a lot of people think it's, we'll see what happens here, because it's right around the corner.
It's time for the Heat to make a big move, though.
Well, it was a reminder again last night.
We're sitting here.
So you get 2 great wins in 22 hours. Very impressive. I don't care who you're playing to get, and the plane gets delayed. We had Eric Reed on yesterday. He's explaining that we're sitting there for 3 hours. We can't get out because of the weather. You get in the morning, got to play, and they find a way to win. And Phoenix had some guys out, like everybody's got a few guys out. I guess when we talk about professional sports, everybody's got a few guys out of the lineup. But anyway, then they come back, get a little rest, and they just, you're going, wow, okay, you know, they lose another one, and now you talk about brutal schedule, back-to-back games here. What is it, 4 and 5 days, or 5 games in 6 days? So a lot of basketball and a lot of Chicago.
Home and home with Chicago.
Three games in a row. First time that's ever, I think they said last night, first time that's happened. 3 games playing Chicago. We'll play at your place once. You can play at our place twice, and we'll play. We got to go to break, man. We got a lot of stuff going on here this morning. We'll get into it. So our friend Jimmy Johnson, a little fired up yesterday.
He was.
Making the news around. He didn't let up on it. And, of course, everybody's reading into this. We'll come back and talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Bill Belichick, who I think he should be in. We'll come back and talk about that and whether he should or not, and does it matter if he has to wait a year and all those other things around this. But first, hey, parents, this is your win of the week right here. You take the kids to Marlins Fan Fest presented by ADT, and suddenly you're a hero. Oh, yeah, because your kids are going to have a blast. Saturday, February 7th from 4 to 8 p.m. at Lone Depot Park. Players, activities, fireworks, clubhouse access, and the big reveal of the new Marlins jersey. You get to see it all. You get baseball. You get all the fun. Everybody's happy. Hey, great day with the kids out there. Get some autographs. Really enjoy yourself. So, when they ask, Dad, how much was it? You can say, hey, guess what? It was free. Go score tickets now at marlins.com/fanfest.
The Panthers here.
The Panthers have headed to St. Louis for a game with the Blues Thursday night. You can listen to the game on our sister station, AM 560, starting with the pregame show at 7:30. Puck drop at 8. Our Panthers broadcasts are sponsored by Gulfstream Park. Thrills at every turn, racing, casino, dining, and shopping. Go to gulfstreampark.com for more info.
Yeah. Welcome back. Good morning to everybody. As another cool day out there. Another cool day. The afternoons are perfect, just perfect. Sneak into those 60s, mid 60s. Meanwhile, still a lot of nasty weather on the way, huh? Coming, it's going to get a little colder.
I tell you what, Joe, I'm trying to present listeners a visual of this studio because I was in here a few months ago and you brought a vacuum cleaner in. And you vacuum this whole area because it never gets, and I don't think it's been vacuumed since.
No, nobody does it. This thing is, so you have all the shows come in here. We all use the same stuff, but you look down and it's.
And I'm not a clean It's not. You look
man,
at my desk; it is a mess. There's limits. There's limits to.
We got everything but cockroaches in here right now on this floor. You're right. It's. No, we need to clean it up all day. You know what though? The people that clean. They just don't come in the studio. I think they've been told not because they clean everything in the hallway and stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, but then IT said they were trying to at least once a week go to a different studio and vacuum, but that, I guess, lasted for a week.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and security. Security.
Huh? What?
No security. We had security.
Shh, don't tell people there's no security around here.
No, exactly. We'll have people coming in here. Anyway, want to just get into this a little bit from yesterday. There was one topic basically yesterday. It is amazing when something happens in the NFL. It just moves to the front of the line. Because you can't talk about Belichick. People won't talk about Bill Belichick unless they mention the 49 years difference between he and his girlfriend.
I'm surprised that didn't come up as a reason for.
Yeah, I said that yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I said she pissed everybody off since they've been together, and they did. But so we got into this thing. I got to ask you this, and everybody's got an opinion on it. Everybody, I heard them all yesterday. They were flying in on the text machine, and everybody on that we know has an opinion. By the way, I mean, she came into the box. I was sitting at the game, and my wife knew right away who she was, and I was surprised. Because my wife is not much of a sports fan. She was just at that game to people watch a little bit, and she knew it was kind of, somebody told her it was a mini Super Bowl, and she really liked that. But everybody knows. But I want to ask you about Bill Belichick. Is the cheating in any way, because Woody was all over this yesterday, like steroids in baseball? And I go, nah, not to me. Different deal. How about for you? The cheating. Different.
Well,
cheating.
Let's start here. Let's talk about the voting on the cheating. In baseball, the guideline is, for the better of the game. There's a clause there that says when voting that basic ethics matter, how the person played. There's nothing like that in football. So, okay, you say, oh, that's quibbling. But if you're voting, it's not quibbling. If you're a voter, and I've been on the Hall of Fame vote. I quit voting. That's another subject, but
no, that's a good one. I didn't know you had a Hall of Fame vote.
Oh yeah, I had for years. And then I just quit. I just quit. You know, the way
Why?
It works is if you're, I think it's 10 years of Baseball Writers Association, and I just wasn't interested in it. I was a Heisman voter. I quit voting for the Heisman too. Because I just wasn't interested. Yeah. I just wasn't.
Well, the writers, they go to you guys because you're the most stable group of the writers. Although people
they have to go to somebody, right?
People are starting to dislike writers and everything now too. But
yeah, and then there's some writers. Have you been put in this spot before? When it comes down, it's a close vote, and if you're covering a team, and these players have big bonuses in some of these, and I'm not talking Hall of Fame. I'm talking Cy Young or Rookie of the Year, etc. Yeah. And then you get into, boy, this is really uncomfortable. So
yeah, I'm glad you said that because Ira, when you said that, who you work with, Ira Winderman, who does a great job with the Heat for the Sun Sentinel, he comes out and he says, I'm off. I'm not doing the All NBA voting anymore because guys get pissed off because you get money off being first, second, and third team All NBA. You're up for big contracts and everything's off that. For those, you can get this because you were second team All NBA, and guys don't get it, and people are mad because it's become a big deal. So Ira got out because he didn't want to deal with that. He didn't want to deal with people find out how he voted on guys.
Yeah, so it can be that's one of the more modern things. But that's not why I just lost interest. I didn't think it was
Okay.
It was
Well,
it
this
was an easy
football
call.
thing's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, the football thing is a bit bigger deal because there's like 50 voters and how many writers? I think there's like maybe 40 writers now. But
we know Tony Dungy and Bill Polian are on it too.
Yeah, there's several veteran,
By the way,
players
Bill,
or coaches.
To me, the guy that made the biggest mistake in this, and I don't blame Belichick for being pissed off because he goes, I'm the second winningest coach and have won more Super Bowls than anybody. Honestly, he's the head coach and and I know who he had for most of it, but he's got to hear all this stuff that's going on and he was pissed yesterday and disappointed from everybody that called him and it leaked out. Everything's leaked out. Should those guys have voted though? That voted against him? Because Bill Polian looked real bad. That's what I was going to say. Because I don't remember.
I really wish he had just said, "Yeah, I didn't vote against him, and here's why." And whatever.
I think he did vote against him.
Yeah, no, I meant, yeah, I did vote against him, and here's why I did.
I know why too.
Problem.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember when it happened when the Colts went to New England, and what they took their meetings. Peyton Manning's one that came out at that time and said, telling Tom Brady, it was a great bit. Says, Tom, we had to leave the locker room because we thought everything, you guys were listening to everything and you were watching everything.
There's a different, remember when it was the same thing with Al Davis and the Raiders? The same thing that the Dolphins would go out there. I know I heard you yesterday tell the story of Shula.
I forget
who brought him the playbook and he dumped it in the trash can. But for years, everybody knew the Raiders, they'd, put cold water in your shower or they'd bug,
we
people
did have that.
were
That's
about
right.
bugging but it was seen as, isn't that neat what the Raiders do almost, that this is what they'll do to win.
Yeah. Win, baby, win.
Win, baby, win. And that was part of their motif. And now, but with Belichick, it's a very negative thing. The Spygate, the Deflategate. And I think if some voter said I couldn't vote from that, okay, that's fine. That's a legitimate thought for a year. If that's what you want to do.
The same thing next year.
It isn't what I'd do.
Yeah.
But okay, it should be a discussion. Now, again, in football, the voting isn't charged with anything about ethics, though. It's just the name.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Jimmy came on, Jimmy Johnson, who you know very, very well. And I've been with Jimmy for a long time too, doing his show and been around Jimmy. Jimmy said all that stuff that he's being accused of, everybody's been doing for a long time. You probably heard it and you talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, I wrote a column and he talked about how Howard Mudd, who was an offensive line coach for Kansas City, was really the guy who came up with, if you videotape and you match the videotape up with the defensive calls and the signals, you can come up with. And he said, we tried it in Dallas, but we couldn't make it for 4 or 5 games. He said it was more of a hassle because of the speed of the game and the plays coming in. So we didn't do it. But he goes, I know several. He said Jerry Glanville did it. We played Jerry Glanville. They knew all our calls. They knew all our calls on offense and defense. And Bernie Kosar was the quarterback of the game, and he didn't have the velocity of Troy. So it became an issue in the game, that they know we're playing, they're going man.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Jimmy made it sound like, a lot of teams were doing it. And so that should have been known within the league too. And does that play a part into Belichick? Yeah, it should have played part into Belichick's thing. What happened to him. Again, I would have voted for
333 wins.
Yeah, I don't know how you. It's not like he was a borderline coach for the Hall of Fame. He was the obvious. I mean, the most obvious pick. 6 Super Bowls wins, 8 Super Bowl wins if you include him in defensive coordinator. 13 AFC East titles.
Oh yeah, we saw them all.
Or actually 17, I think. 13 AFC championship games.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers
they
are
won
just
the AFC
staggering.
East basically. The one year we did win it, Brady got hurt.
That was Brady's first.
And we had the same record, but we won some tiebreaker to be the number 1 seed with Chad Pennington.
People say, well, it was all Brady. Who raised
That's
Brady?
not fair.
Who developed
That's
Brady?
not fair.
Who
Yeah.
They kept 4 quarterbacks when Brady was a rookie because they saw something in Brady.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't.
Let me ask you the other part of this. We got to go to break. Now, does this affect Brady?
No, and you know why I don't think it
because
will?
I got that yesterday.
Because the furor over Belichick not getting in is so loud.
Times 20 if you do that. By the way, Tom Brady should go in by himself. Seriously, he's that good.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers. Everybody goes, well, he didn't win any championships. He had great numbers. Or somebody will go, oh, he was on a great team and he won those championships. But look at his number. Tom Brady goes, no. He checked all the boxes. Everybody.
Yeah, to bring it into the Patriots had such a great, and Kraft had be part of that. Kraft's gone Super Bowl with.
By the way, you can't put Robert Kraft in now.
He's going in. He's going in, isn't he?
Well, by the way,
that's the other question.
Punch in the gut for Belichick.
Well, that's the other question. Did
I caught that from? Oh,
did Kraft? Did Kraft pull some strings behind the scenes?
Don't put him in when I'm in.
Yeah, like there's conspiracy theories all out there of what's going on.
That's a good one because Jimmy, hey, it's very well known that Belichick and Kraft.
Yeah.
He fired him.
Kraft even said in his statement of support of Belichick should have gone in the hall. Basically, we don't get along anymore.
Yeah, right. We're not what we used to be. So let me get this right. So Belichick says Brady can't play anymore. We got to move on. Is that what? That's kind of how it ended.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Kraft goes, "Hey, Bill, remember what you did to Tom a few years ago? You're not very good right now. I got to let you go. I mean, this thing's a mess.
It never ends
and
well.
You wanted free agency, and that's a disaster. So, and man, they had a 20-year run we'll never, ever see again. Kansas City, no one will do it as long as they just did it. Anyway, let's go to break here, Dave. We got a lot more stuff to get to. 7 o'clock hour is coming up, man. I want to talk to you about credit card debt, consolidation. Could you use it right now? You got a little out of control there. Behind on property taxes, HOA dues, assessments, judgments, liens. Oh, Michael Kotze can help you at Choice Mortgage. Reverse mortgages. Let's talk about those. One of the hottest mortgages we have. If you are 62 or older, you and your spouse, and have a lot of equity in your home, let Michael Kotze get that equity out so you can pay your bills off, get everything done, take that vacation you always wanted to do, and you have a place to live, man. That's the best part of this whole deal and why it's so popular. First-time home buyer programs, I got a great program with little money down for you. Hey, going on and on. And listen, Michael Kotze is about great service. What's great service mean? That means getting approved quickly, getting it done quickly with the best rates, and paying some things off that have got you. Debt consolidation of everything. Hey, this is what Michael Kotze's been doing for more than 30 years at Choice Mortgage. Truly has no life. He's always working to make sure you get it done quickly. Get the paperwork done. Speed the process up 7 days a week. Call or text them. 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. If you're going through it right now, upside down, got that equity in the home, what are you doing? Call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage, MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
WQAM brought
800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. The Heat, they fell to the Magic 133-124. Next up, the Bulls today, Saturday, and Sunday. The Miami Hurricanes basketball team defeated Stanford 79-70. They will host Cal Saturday at 4, and the Australian Open continues today. Arina Sabalenka has advanced. Later on, you get Carlos Alcaraz taking on Alexander Zverev. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
This hour of the Joe Rose Show is brought to you by Baptist Health.
All right, welcome back here for the 7 o'clock hour. We got Dave Hyde with us this morning. Woody had a late night with basketball, which, by the way, congratulations to them. Jay Lucas gets another win. Done a nice job down there. 17-4 on the season, 6-2 in the ACC with, maybe 11 games left in the season. And so we'll talk to him coming up at 8 o'clock this morning as they beat Stanford by 9 last night. And then this other story going on. The Heat last night get 2 wins in 22 hours on the road, beat up, tired, beaten through this crappy weather, and are able to get that set game, come home, get a few days off, and lose to Orlando again last night. Outscored 40-20 in that third quarter. Couple guys out again, but it was the ugly third quarter and then all the other things. We got this trade deadline next week, February 5th, coming up. And Dave Hyde with us from the Sun Sentinel all day. Dan Day filling in as well, and Jamie back there. I'm with you. I don't think we have enough, but boy, they got to try to do something. They got to shake it up. This development of first round picks, which was kind of the plan, and how quickly can they all develop? And all I'm seeing from basically the group, I don't know if I should put Jaime Jaquez in there or not. Jaime's upped his game from a year ago, but Khalil Ware, 7 minutes last night, 4 points, 4 rebounds.
They've lost faith in Khalil. Just by his minutes.
Well, he said he's working him back. I saw his comments yesterday.
We're working back slowly. Stuff. Yeah, okay.
But he teased this, Dave, early. It goes 24-14 and 28-19, 19 rebounds, that is, in 2 games not too long ago. Everybody's raving about him.
He's getting double-doubles every night for a nice stretch of games.
If he plays, we had another guy here that got a lot of double-doubles, and Spo didn't like him either.
Yeah, and
he said he was a dog up and down. He didn't play the right way. And
just some similarities in maybe the focus and hard workingness of Khalil and Hassan. Maybe there's a parallel there, and you hate to draw that parallel.
Well, this was kind of the knock on him coming out, right, at Indiana.
That's why he
took some. He's a talented guy. He's obviously a talented guy. He can shoot threes. He's just Spo. Boy, if you don't play the game the right way, Spo, especially on bigs.
But the rest of the
no tolerance.
All those. They got a nice collection of players for support roles, but you don't see anybody stepping out and saying, boy, I can be something more than just a support guy, an average support. Look, Norman Powell's a great signing.
Great pickup.
Great. I mean,
as bad as the other one's been a disaster in Rozier, that has been a great pickup.
Yeah. And if you would get Giannis, you have a scorer like Powell, you have the way all those trades from the beat writers are structured. Bam isn't in it but nationally Bam's in it. So, the Heat do not want to trade Bam. I get it. He I talked to Bam before this season. He works out 4 days a week, 4 times a day. 4 times a day. He gets there during the offseason. He'd get there at 6 o'clock in the morning and work out, and he'd be walking out as the coaches and stuff were coming in for their day. So he's everything you want in a player. But
by the way, great in the community too. For any guy that's a league guy, he's getting awards and stuff, and he gives money to Chapman Partnership and gives money to everything. And he's kids and education, and I know a lot of guys do this. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like for the perfect star player that he's the guy on the team. There's no he's it. And listen, sometimes he frustrates us with those 8 and 9 point nights and 6 point nights where he doesn't score enough, and but he is the guy that's what you want. That's what you want from a first round pick. But he needs some help from these things we're talking about. Guy can take over the game offensively late and all the other things. It's frustrating, and it's going to be a play-in situation if they go with this group. It is. I don't think they're not going to completely fall out of it, but
they're an average team because they have average talent. I mean, it's as simple as that. In the NBA, you look at who has 3 of the best 5 players on the court. That team's going to win, 80% of the time.
That starting lineup they had last night because of injury, and because he's not in love with some other guys. Not very good. Not good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah, and you look at Orlando, you look at a Detroit and Orlando, how did they get? Boy, they have good talent. Okay, well, do you want to lose for 5 straight years and get those high picks?
I can get you the first overall pick. Had a big game last night. If you're looking at that, anyway. So that's coming up, and we'll find out. Although, listen, there's a lot of great offers. We were talking earlier about this for Giannis. Nobody's worried
if Houston
about that
really
calf.
wants him, I just don't see how they can't be the team they have 4 number 1 draft picks available. They got a lot of talent on their roster. The question, I guess, is, do they want it? How bad do they want them?
Well, how much you have to give up to give for what you have right now? That Houston team's pretty good, pretty damn good. It's got a lot of young talent. Kevin Durant.
Can they get over Oklahoma City? That'd be, if you're running Houston, can we beat Oklahoma City?
Well, Miami beat Oklahoma City.
Well, I mean, in a 7-game.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. That's the other thing. The Heat actually have some really good wins. I think they've beaten the Knicks twice, but it's just been a little frustrating, and that's their 4th loss to this Orlando team last night. Now it's getting after it pretty good here to see what's going to happen. Hey, the other story that we have talked about, the Canes got a new quarterback. By the way, did you see that transfer portal class for jumped right up to number 3 after they got one of the top wide receivers, the top wide receiver for Duke. And you got Mensah to come here, the quarterback, who's I was reading all this stuff about him yesterday. I didn't realize. I mean, they said he'd have been mid-round pick this year.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. You mentioned that last night, and you knew he was good. I mean, you look at his numbers.
Not a running quarterback, by the way. Everybody goes, "Oh, he can run too." He'll probably run when he has to, but man, he sits back there and he throws it. It's not bad, and they've added more speed. They got 2 receivers coming in, or 1,000-yard guys. I mean, God, how do we get everybody the ball, man? I want to have that problem.
They got the number 1 offensive tackle recruit.
Yeah, high school, not high school, coming in as a true freshman.
Recruit.
You can see him.
He's
in
the
spring.
Maui of this class. So
how good is that? And you got the top pass rusher from the portal. Oh, Jason Taylor went over there and closed that deal real quickly. So here we go, man. It's
well, they got about $30 million, I believe it was, from their playoff run.
32, and I think the AD came on and said $32 million, and he said, but we had expenses in there too.
Okay, so
I don't know what you clear after $32 million.
Say $25 million, and just for conversation's sake, and they're spending it and looking at return on investment. Right.
Oh,
that's
let me tell you, Joe is putting right back in the program and going, Mario, here it is.
They've got the modern way to win in college football. And Echeverria came in, and that was part of his, taking over the school. We're going to spend money on sports again. And he spent it smart, and they
signed off. He's all in. You can't say enough. And I know it's about the players and the coaches, but Mario to have this, and he was promised this, and Joe Echeverria has absolutely delivered. President of the University of Miami, and by the way, passionate about the health system, passionate about the academics, and passionate about the image of his sports, of his big sports team, starting with football. and what just happened. What they just did, even though they came up a little short, was unbelievable. It really was. And he should get a lot of credit. He's kind of behind the scenes, but he's not your normal president. He's doing, and this is not a shot at anybody else. He just loves sports and being.
Well, he's at Cam Ward's table during the draft.
Well, that just tells you,
huh?
He's really close to Cam Ward.
Yeah,
Cam trusts him to help him with his money because that's his background. Can you imagine a player getting ready to be the first overall pick and says, "Hey," Cam goes, "You've been so good to me. I want to ask you, and this is your background of what you've done, finances and cleaning up messes." And he's there for him. He's there for all these guys. It's incredible. These new recruits come in. The wives come in. And they're like, "Who's this guy over here kind of hanging out with us?" "Oh, that's the president of the university." "Oh." And a coat and tie out there. Classy, goes right from there. We'll come out and watch practice, shake hands with recruits. Just incredible.
What's going to be the price tag on getting, once you untangle Duke and everything from there was a settlement at Duke. What do you think the price tag is? Because it started with, in the past few, Cam Ward was $1.5 million. And bargain. Carson Beck was $4.5 million. And now it's, 6.5 plus, I think, depending on.
I think when we find out this batch of quarterbacks, the ones that went back to school, I heard Manning's making $7.5 million. I don't know if it's true, but I think that's going to be the going rate. I'm guessing Moore's not going back to Oregon without Nike signing up on a little more money for him to go back, because he's going to be a high draft pick, even though he can't play well against Indiana.
Fernando Mendoza reportedly got $1 million at Indiana this past year.
I heard more than that. I don't know.
Did you? Okay.
I heard double that, but I don't know. Whatever it was a friggin' bargain.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the Senior Bowl yesterday. Really have no life, by the way, because it was on ESPN. Now that ESPN's running the show for NFL Network and NFL Network. And matter of fact, Charles Davis, who's been there all week, will be with us early tomorrow morning from the Senior Bowl to get us caught up on the strength of the Senior Bowl and everything else. But this whole thing coming out on the Senior Bowl and the team, it's unbelievable. This whole thing has been great for the University of Miami. This whole thing, a lot of guys bagged out. It's too much football, as you know. Some of the top players. We're probably gonna have 2 guys go in the top 10. This is all good for what Mario Cristobal is doing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the recruiting class he's stacking them on top of each other, even without the transfer portal. Now, the transfer portal is like,
Dave, if you're not playing the transfer portal, you're not.
It's NFL draft right now, basically.
Look at
free
Clemson.
agency.
Look at Clemson. He is stubborn and trying to do it. I think he has signed he signed a few guys last year. You can't just pay your own guys that you recruit out of high school. You've got this easy catch-up. You're getting experience from guys 21, 22, 23 years old that have put up numbers, that have confidence, that have played at the highest level. You got to put together a staff to find those people, and Mario has done it.
Or you have to get out. He can't. You're not going to win that way. The old school. And Kurt Signetti talked about it, and I'm sure Mario did, but I heard Kurt Signetti at before the national championship. The dynamics have all changed, and you can't live in the past of the way it was if you want to win.
No, you got to stop bitching about it, because it's not stopping. That whole thing that Dabo Swinney did the other day, upset about tampering and this and that. Like, brother, this is going on. You think your guy's the only guy that got a text message, come play for us? It's happening, man. We got to go to break here, David. We got a lot more stuff to get to here this morning. Hey, man, it's the new year. Boy, I'll tell you what, South Florida Chevy dealers have never been more excited than they are right now about those new trucks. Like, we got a truck perfect for you, and the SUVs and the new cars. Oh, my gosh. It's really a perfect time, though, to check out the 2026 lineup of all of them if you're in the market for something new right now. Chevy has a model built to handle all your needs from the busy work week and your weekend adventure. We got something for everybody. And hey, I want to get to A-lister, yes, of SUVs, the 2026 Chevy Blazer, a perfect mix of capability, comfort, and confidence with 3 bold personalities to choose from: athletic, eye-catching, aggressive, and sporty, or elegant and stylish. Boy, I hit them all right there. The 2026 Chevy Blazer makes every drive worth the trip. This midsize SUV is spacious enough to accommodate a big family. It doesn't compromise on style. New year, new points of view, new places, and a new adventures for you. It's the perfect time to hit the open road in a new Chevy. Visit your South Florida Chevy dealers today. Together, let's drive in the new year.
WQA
All right, welcome back. We're sitting here talking about family, which, anyway.
Every family's
California's a different deal, baby. California is a different place right now. Oh, Dave, man. A lot of stuff. It's your parents get older, and everybody goes through all the different stuff. Gets close to that time, you interested in moving out of.
Yeah, you have to have some uncomfortable conversations that you never, as a kid, you never think you have.
I was trying to explain that. Like,
it starts with the car. Maybe you shouldn't be driving anymore. What do you mean? That how do you take a car away from your?
You can't, man.
Yeah,
we're going through that one. We're going through the. Yeah, it's interesting. And then you got family members you got to go through it with. And so anyway, that's part of life right there. That's part of the deal. Hey, as we continue on here this morning, we're going to have Jay Lucas. Got a nice win last night. Canes at 17-4 and 6-2 in the ACC, and got a whole bunch of ACC games coming up. He'll join us. And then Brian Geltzeiler, our NBA insider, will join us. And we're going to talk about who's getting Giannis. You think Giannis gets traded? Antetokounmpo?
I do think he will get traded. It's time now.
It sounds like everybody's agreed. Now they're saying is a better time now to do it now or after
the offseason. That's the only question.
A lot of teams are going to do it now.
Yeah,
but the
market for him and for Giannis might be for Giannis financially, just to get everything done, might be in the offseason. So the question in both cases for the Heat is, do they have enough to get it done? And I just don't think they have enough right now. If they get a 2027 draft pick, and then by NBA rules, they basically have 4 number ones to trade starting with this year, as opposed to 2 number ones starting in 2030. That changes things from Milwaukee's standpoint, I think. So Milwaukee wants a great young player if one's available, or potentially great, and draft picks. And
we don't have that guy.
We don't have that combination of great young player and when you can only offer 2030 and 2032 first round draft picks. That's
one guy that has just not helped the situation and it's not his fault. I always say this, not your fault when you get injured. Nobody gets injured. Nobody, has an ankle surgery and then a toe problem and a rib problem. I get these things happen. But Tyler Hero has only played 11 games. And let's be honest, he was supposed to be your number one scorer. He was supposed to be the guy that was playing. He's still, 26 years old, if I'm not 25, 26 years old. This doesn't help your value.
It's been a frustrating season for him, that just getting on the court. And for the Heat, because you put him with Powell and you get a working relationship, then you have 2 big scorers on your team.
Well, that hasn't happened very much. It seems like we shift our rotation more than anybody in the NBA. I know there's other teams going through this, but boy.
But that's always been Spo's way, hasn't it? I mean,
even when he's healthy,
he'll
do matchup.
I remember with the big 3 talking with Shane Battier, and he said after one playoff series, he played all the time. The next, he said, I just went up to Spo and I said, don't forget about me, Spo. Because he's sitting on the bench the next playoffs. That's and Spo's all about matchups and finding the right combination. And
it'd be hard to play that way. I've said this for years. It would be hard not to know from night to night if you're playing. Minus, I'm not talking about the star guys. They know they're playing. They know how much they're playing. It's a different deal. But remember, Duncan Robinson went from starting and scoring. He couldn't get off the bench during, was it the playoff run?
Yeah.
He just said, nah, I've seen enough. You're hurting us, basically, because he couldn't get back in.
Well, there's a question with Tyler Hero and not hurting you. The question, how much help you? Because as much as he scores offensively is as much as he's targeted defensively by other teams to score. And the Heat's way has always been when they're great two-way players. That's who they want. And they don't really have any two-way players on the team that matter now. Norman Powell's a nice scorer, but he's not like he's not a top defender. He's not an awful. Bam's a great defensive player, and he's picking up his three. You can tell how much he's worked on his 3-point shooting, but he's not a great offensive player, and that's there's Giannis. There's a two-way player, and that's what it looks like.
Well, the trade deadline's coming up February 5th, by the way, which is next week. So
what do you think, Joe? Did they get something done? What's your guts telling you?
I don't feel good about getting Giannis. No,
and
I'm just worried that not that he wouldn't want to be here. It's just that I think if you're looking at offers, unless he jumps in on it, you're looking at offers. I don't think we can just, like you said, we can't match first-round picks. We can't match talent that we're going to give back on to certain teams. If certain teams want to go all in on him, we're screwed.
And as far as him wanting to be, he wants to be where I would assume, without him broadcasting, he wants to go where he can win right now. And can he win? He could win right now if they can somehow make it work with Bam staying on the team.
So let me ask you another one about Khalil Ware. Very interesting because here's a guy everybody's talking about, wow, this Khalil Ware, the upside, and you get teased by it, and he puts together one of those 20 and 18s or 24 and 12s and go, oh my God, what a double, man. Blocks 3-4 shots in a game from time to time. And then nights like last night. So if you're thinking about him, you're going, well, suppose team's struggling. He plays him 7 minutes and he has 4 points and 4 rebounds. What the hell's the problem? I mean, that doesn't help if he is going to be thrown in on a deal. Like, why is this guy not playing?
Well, there you go. Why does Milwaukee want him? That's the question. Yeah. This started for me in the summer league in Vegas when Spo went off on Khalil Ware. As when I say went off for Spo, he went off, which meant he publicly called him out that he needs to work harder on it, which is not Spo's way at all. And so that told me two things. One is he's disappointed. The other thing, they see great potential in him.
Oh, no.
That they're frustrated by him.
They used to say that with shoes. When he stops yelling and screaming at you, you got a problem.
Right.
Yeah. When you're young and he's pushing you and getting after you, and the veteran players go, when he stops doing that, you got a problem. So you better just suck it up and know that he cares, as he spends so much time screaming and yelling and good job, bad job, let's go, you can do better, and all that stuff. But yeah, this is a very, very interesting.
What do you do with Ware, though? Do you play him? Do you take his? It seems like Spo's trying to do everything. Has tried.
Put him at the end of the bench. Starting lineup. Bam and Khalil together. What a front line.
Because at the start of the year, when he was just piling up doubles, I thought, wow, they really have something in this guy, and that he could be a next great talent for them. But then
but the knock that he had coming out of college is showing up.
It came true. Right.
Those scouting reports. So that's where they are on this whole thing. Hey, we're late again. Always late here with a lot of stuff going on here. We've got plenty to go to. We got caught up on Mike McDaniel too. Mike's on his way to be the offensive coordinator with the Chargers, and it will be with Jim Harbaugh. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about that. He also is taking one of the better coaches from that staff with him. If you haven't heard that, we'll have all that stuff for you coming up in just a moment. But first, I want to talk about my favorite jewelry store to go to. Yeah, that would be Beverly's Jewelers, and that would be more than 35 years of going to Beverly's Jewelers. Makeups, breakups, engagement rings, bigger engagement rings. Oh, man, Jeff, we went through it there, brother. Amanda, his daughter, now working with us. She's so good. God, she's so good, man. Oh, it's nice having her over there. Hey, they got an offer I want to get to besides the family business here. They got a stunning 3-carat certified lab-grown diamond, VVS clarity, e-color, set in a custom-made 14-karat gold engagement ring. And the reason I bring it up is $3,999. It is absolutely on fire. They cannot keep them in. It's one of the first times in my 35 years where I've gone over to get something for my wife, and he goes, we're having trouble keeping them in, man. Guys getting engaged, they're doing it. They can't believe how nice they are. They are really, really nice. 3-carat diamond ring for only $3,999 for those of you on a tight budget that want to pop the big question and know that she's absolutely going to love it. I tell everybody, go see it in person. Forget the picture. Go see it in person. It is spectacular. It really is. It's unbelievable. By the way, you can get a larger size and save a lot of money. But hurry, this offer is for a limited time. Beverly's has a huge selection for anything, any anniversary, birthdays, or anything else. Diamond studs, tennis bracelets, anything you're looking for. They even, if you tell them what the price range is, so they can help you find exactly what you need for that lady you care about. And if you need some extra cash right now, Beverly's pays top dollar for your old gold, silver, and jewelry with immediate payment, plus interest-free financing, free gift wrapping, and a staff to make sure you get exactly what you need. Visit Beverly's Jewelers in Fort Lauderdale off Commercial Boulevard or online at bevjewelers.com. You really should go to the store. Beverly's Jewelers, where South Florida gets engaged.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Loctite
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. Dave Hyde in with us from the Sun Sentinel this morning. Woody had the morning off after being part of the broadcast last night for the University of Miami. They got a nice win. Canes win 79-70 in that game. Jay Lucas, head coach, will join us coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll talk to him. By the way, I got one for you, kind of cool. If you follow everything here in South Florida in high school sports, I think it's the first time it's ever happened. I know it's the first time it's ever happened here in South Florida that we're going to have a guy that's going to be the first overall pick in the same draft from the same high school in the same year. How about that? Fernando Mendoza is about ready to be the first quarterback and first NFL player taken in the draft, most likely. You hear that like I do.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
And Cameron Boozer at Duke.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
How about that? How about Columbus High School? Mario, Moss brothers, the whole group over there.
They had signs up like on the fences, running down the outside the school, Fernando or Mendoza, I talked to Dave Dunn, the Columbus football coach, about Mendoza, and it's like, they took Tuesday off after the championship game. They gave the school off Tuesday. We're not having school. That tells you that you got something nice going on over there.
I have heard, now that everybody's seen his story, his mom, the whole thing. I've had more people come up to me about him, especially on the West Coast when I was out there because he was at Cal. What happened? He got so much better. I mean, and then the way he handles himself, interviews. The Heisman Trophy choked everybody up on the Heisman Trophy speech. Just and then learn everything about him.
Well, his whole family story is pretty neat.
It's amazing. His dad's a doctor. Probably there were a lot of people rooting for him to win that game. There were a lot of people. It was Indiana. It was
a pretty magical story. No matter what you thought. Look, Miami had a pretty good story too, but Indiana had nationally it was a magical story for them.
And now comes Cameron Boozer, leading Duke right now. I think they got like one loss on the season, and everybody's got him. I know things can change, and European players can jump in, and France seems to be getting better in their basketball and everything else. But Cameron Boozer, 23.5 points, 10 rebounds a game, 6'9". This got Cooper flag written all over it again. I watched him a little bit. He's got so much better. I thought
that Brigham Young center.
He looks good too.
He's like right in the mix for.
He's talented.
I think he's getting. He's signed, I heard, for $5 million, which doesn't sound like much now when you think of what quarterbacks are getting.
To go to BYU. He's from Boston, from Massachusetts. He went out to California for prep school and went to BYU, evidently because something about the coach, and the manner he coaches, the way he's developed players has got. I always ask this question, and it's never to be rude or disrespectful.
I know what you're going to ask because
I took a trip there. I took a recruiting trip there I have some Mormons in my family, and I did. I took a trip because two of my cousins I was close to were going to BYU at the time, and they were just relentless on one of my 5 trips. And BYU is really good. BYU back when
Lavelle Edwards.
That's right.
Yeah,
Lavelle Edwards, one of the greatest human beings of all time. Truly one of the great, was also my coach in the All-Star game, at the East-West All-Star game. Truly a great human being. Like I have but anyway, you get there, and because I always ask, a guy goes, hey, I go to BYU, and I go, are you Mormon? There's nothing wrong with it because the rules and regulations are very strict. Like, has nothing in common with Catholics. You can just be yourself as a Catholic, but the Mormons are very strict on their code. You can't be in a girl's room, alcohol. So, these guys that when I was on my recruiting trip, 2 guys that weren't Mormon were on the team. They have a lot of guys that aren't Mormon. It's just because it's a great school. BYU's football team they got great sports actually all the way around. And so these guys I go, hey, what are we doing? And they go, we got to go. We're going about 15 miles out of town. And its mountains are beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful campus. second to none. So we go for like 15 miles, we're driving, and I go, hey, and I'm thinking, is this some kind of initiation or something? I'm getting, what's going on here? So they're talking to me. We're going, great guys. I go, hey, man, you like beer? I go, well, yeah, I like beer. I go, well, we got to go 15 miles out there. There's a place that we go. Non-Mormons, we all go out there because they're going, if we get caught, we're out. So they're very strict on things. So when I hear a story about a guy, I always wonder, like, but outside of that, listen, they've had a lot of guys get drafted, a lot of guys really good in the NFL, and now one of the top basketball players. But
wait. So what happened? You went out and you drank some beer,
and they brought me back.
That was what they did too.
But it had to go so far to just have a couple beers and hang out with the group of guys, and a few gals were there, but it was mostly, guys out there, and just to get, and they had to go way out, and then came back in. The next day I spent, with my cousins, were part of the recruiting team. They're showing you around these beautiful facilities they have. And so when I hear that, man, I always go, oh, BYU, are you Mormon? So anyway, I had to get that.
So we got Cameron Boozer, we got and
Fernando Mendoza.
That's amazing. How
about that one?
I didn't realize that.
Well, I'm just giving you something for potential if it happens. Oh, Columbus, that school got to be very, very proud down there, man. They've had because so many people, a lot of our politicians, there's been a lot of guys that make up our community have gone to that school, man. That school is
now cool. Boozer, everybody knew he's a great recruit, but as I said with Dave Dunn sent video of Mendoza to every Power 5 school, got no responses. That tells you the rise of Fernando Mendoza.
Hey, man, like he said, 2 stars, and that guy, his just everything about him is just, hey, what it's all about. It's a great story. The other story I was talking about before, and we got basketball coming up here with the University of Miami head coach Jay Lucas in just a few minutes. Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator now for the Chargers, has taken Butch Berry, offensive line coach, and a really good one. Really, really good one. We'll follow him and be his offensive line coach. I thought it was interesting because Mike, obviously, it's his coaching staff. He can take who he wants. And it kind of gives you an idea who he really liked on that coaching staff. Because I'm guessing Harbaugh said, hey, take who you want because you're putting in your own system. I'm leaving you alone. Although, Harbaugh's former quarterback is going to be. But this is going to be interesting. But this is a great situation. This is by far the best situation. Mike looked at this. He had 6 or 7 offensive coordinator jobs. He turned down the one I thought originally. And then I was told Dan Quinn, he and Dan Quinn are really close with the Washington Commanders. Dan Quinn, that seat might have changed after last year. They didn't have a good year, and they didn't have their quarterback, who, by the way, is one of the most talented guys we've seen. Great rookie year and missed most of last year.
I think Mike took the right job.
Yeah.
I think you look out there and you look, okay, his wife's from California too,
Northern,
near you.
Yeah, Katie.
But you look at
he's gonna get
when he can solve that Chargers offense, he's got the right player to work with. When you look at the options, got the right quarterback in Justin Herbert, and the offense was so bad because of injuries last year.
Yeah.
If he goes in, works a little magic, gets a little healthy,
absolutely,
and it could be a great offense.
Yep, no question about it. And Mike McDaniel is going to pay like a head coach the next 2 years with the amount of money the Dolphins owe him. It's a great situation for him. Flip this thing around. The Chargers got a really good team to start with. Those tackles are coming back healthy, Alt and Slater. Mike, I thought Mike made the perfect choice.
Did you see one of his opening moves, though, and with the Chargers, where he's with their social media team? Now, the social media team, remember a couple years ago, the vape, they did the vape thing when Mike was one of the more bizarre.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
On the side. And he said, you guys aren't going to talk about the vape, are you? Because I know how you roll, which is, that's his personality.
Yeah, no question. All right. Hey, we've got Jay Lucas going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Good win for them last night. Cal Berkeley coming up next. All right, parents, if you're looking for something your kids will actually remember, You got to get to Miami Marlins Fan Fest coming up. This year, we've got Ron Miguel, one of our favorite dudes. The mayor of South Florida will be live at the ballpark, and yes, he's bringing his animal friends on site. That'll make it fun. Ron Miguel takes the stage from 5:45 to 6:25, and trust me, the kids, they are going to love it. And the adults will as well. Fan Fest is February 7th from 4 to 8 p.m., and the best part is it's free. Grab your free tickets now at martins.com/fanfest and bring the whole family out to Lone Depot Park.
What's up, football fans? Picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try a first touchdown scorer wager with confidence today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and game
national champion Miami Hurricanes and Miami Hurricanes basketball.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. The Miami Hurricanes basketball team defeated Stanford 79-70. They host Cal Saturday at 4. The Heat fell to the Magic 133-124. Next up, it's the Chicago Bulls today, Saturday, and Sunday. And the Panthers are in St. Louis to play the lowly Blues tonight at 8. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back. We always like to have coaches on when they win, man. And Jay Lucas got a nice win against Stanford last night. Had to come from behind, but they get a 79-70 win. Coach, congratulations, and thanks for being with us. A little worried there, down 49-40, 14 minutes left, and your guys really turned it on.
Yeah, they did. They turned it on. They showed the grit that they have shown in a lot of games this year and this season. So I was excited for them to pull it out and excited for us to get the win.
Hey, I always wonder, you're sitting there with a really nice record, although there's still a lot of ACC teams that have a great record at this point, 17-4, 6-2 in the ACC. You still got a lot of ACC games left. Do you feel like you have, or starting to feel like when you talk to your coaches, we could have a tournament team here?
We're getting there. You know, I like to take it one day at a time. I think we'll put ourselves in a situation to be in the conversation at least. Now we got to keep chipping away and keep winning these games down the stretch. And we got some big quality quad one games coming up that can solidify that. But we just got to keep our heads down and keep working.
Well, I got to tell you, last night, I always wonder how this works with young guys because I know a lot of pros, man. They want to be in that starting lineup. They want to get introduced. They don't care about the end of the game. That thing about having their name and the way the announcer says it's really important to them. So you made a change. Dante Allen, the connector, gets his second start. How difficult is that to do to keep everybody happy in the family, whether they're playing more minutes off the bench or not?
I mean, it's always tough in any situation. Like you said, it's hard. But I thought True did a great job of just continuing to be True. And he came in and he had some big defensive stops for us, some steals that got us out in transition. He had some big buckets for us late. And so he just continued to play the way he has played. And, you know, for us, the way we're built, those guys are going to play their minutes. You know, the way we're built with our numbers and our depth. It shouldn't matter if you start, you don't start. It's all about winning. And that's what we got to get to, where it's all about winning.
Jay, I got to tell you, man, you got the ultimate compliment. I was listening to the Stanford coach last night talk about how quickly your team has come together and the way you guys defend and all the different things you did to that young star, Ibuka Okori, last night, showing him a lot of different looks and the guys all buying in. Something you and I talked about a little bit about how quickly can this thing come together. I thought that was the ultimate compliment last night, though.
No, I mean, I appreciate it. And with him, you had to have a plan, and you had to have a bunch of plans because he's that good, and he can win a game by himself. And we kind of had that situation where one guy won the game by himself in the Florida State game, so we could make sure that didn't happen again. And, you know, that's the thing that's most exciting about us and why I think we can still make a big step is because we still haven't played our best basketball yet. We're still becoming a team. We're still tweaking some things. And once we kind of figure that part out, I know we'll make another jump.
Well, you got a big one. We'll talk more about the team because you're actually getting a lot out of two freshmen right now because you talked about Dante Allen. I love you call him the connector. Man, I like that. Can you talk more about that? Because he's not scoring 20 points a night, but you have to have a guy to kind of bring the whole thing together that makes everybody better.
Yeah, and, you know, for Dante, all he cares about is winning. So he goes out there and he competes. He makes winning plays. That's part of being the connector. He always gets the ball where it needs to be on time, and he's lost in the game. And that impact and that value is worth more than those 20 points because it puts everybody in situations where they can be their selves. And for him to be able to do that and play that role as a freshman just speaks to what he can be.
All right, you grew up in a basketball family, so did Alan. And obviously, what do you see? Do you talk to his dad, Malik Allen, obviously Heat assistant coach, about basketball, or is that like you got the son and everybody's in their own worlds?
Well, the thing about Malik and their whole family, they've been great. So they kind of stay out the way. So if I do have a question, I have to go find him or talk to him. He doesn't really intervene, and he's busy. They're busy in the middle of their season. But over the summer and stuff, I got to talk to him a bunch and just pick his brain on some different things. So they've been great. They've been great.
Hey, the other thing is you talked about the bench and trying to figure this thing out and get deeper and get some guys that can still give you production from not only a starting lineup, but the guys off the bench that can give guys rest and give you quality minutes. Are you feeling better with that, or is that just going to take more and more time to get it where you want it?
I'm feeling better with it. That was part of the reason of putting True over there so he can give us some type of impact and some type of pop off the bench. And all those guys give us something that's really needed. Like Dovrat and Malavitz, they stretch the floor for us. They come in and shooting. Altuntas Sali, our big fella, he comes in with his physicality and being able to execute the plan the right way. So they all give us something in those moments. I was just looking for a little bit more scoring. And that's why I felt, that True would be the person that could really impact the game from that standpoint.
I got to ask you also, Cal, 4:00 Saturday, got to get a big crowd there. It's a great time early on. Plenty of time to watch that game and take that wife out that night for a big crowd to come there. And you got this thing rolling, and you know how important those home games are in the ACC.
Oh, they're huge. They're huge. And each game, as we've gotten deeper in the season, the crowd has been great. We need an even better crowd on Saturday. Cal is really good. They're another team that, their record's a little down, but they're right in the middle of the mix too. If you look at everything with some of the wins they have and what they've been able to do, it just shows you how tough the ACC is. So we need to watch go rocking.
Hey, I got to ask you, speaking of that, and Duke better than anybody. You're on that staff and are aware of it. I'm just – do you feel like they're clearly the best team right now in the ACC, or do you feel there's a couple of teams that have a chance to go after them with that talent they have?
The thing about the ACC, I think anybody can beat anybody, and that's what's made it really good this year. Of course, they have been able to finish games and win some games down the stretch that's kind of separated them. You look at their Florida State game, Florida State's right there. You look at SMU's right there. Georgia Tech was one possession game. So the gap seems far by the record, but if you look at the games and the scores, it's a bunch of teams that are right there. And if you look at everybody's score, it's a bunch of teams right there. Notre Dame should have beat Virginia, took them to double overtime, and then they had like half their team foul out. Yeah. So it just makes each game exciting, and it makes the ACC, like I said, I think it's the second best league in the country right now.
You've seen them all come out of high school. You've been doing this in the top programs for a long time. Cameron Boozer, the Boozer family down here, and Cameron is starting to look like the best player. And would you say right now, if everybody's going to ask you who's the best player in college basketball, would it be Cameron Boozer from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, it would be. I think the consistency and his impact every night on winning, but also on his team needing him. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason they've separated themselves is because he's been so consistent. He hasn't looked like a freshman, so you don't look down and see a 8-point game and a 4-turnover game. You look down and you see 22 and 12, 24 and 15. So when you have a guy that can do that, that's very impressive. And anybody doing that is going to separate themselves.
Coach, I got to give it to you, man. When I heard you were coming in, and I'm like, man, this is going to be a tough one. Everybody's gone. You got a brand new team, brand new coaching staff. And I was like, boy, what is this thing going to look like? You got to feel just stepping back. And I know it's one game at a time before you give me the coach talk. But sitting here at 17-4 and 6-2 in the ACC, pretty damn good start for the first time around, Coach.
I'm going to have to give you coach talk. I don't mean to, but I'm going to have to. I'm right now in the middle of the season. You get so caught up in the season and so caught up in just focusing on winning and getting the guys better. To be honest with you, I haven't been able to take a step back. You know what I mean? Each game, each day is different. So I'm just trying to win the day and make sure my guys are in the right mind frame to get ready to go play on Saturday.
You know,
and hopefully after the season I can.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I had to get you a little bit to give you a little chuckle in there, though, on that whole thing. Hey, every game's important, man. I get it. Hey, how hard is it with young guys? Because you start feeling good, and they start hearing good things around campus. Now you've won a couple of games again in a row, and they're looking at your record to make sure everybody gets up and treats every game like it's a damn playoff game. How hard is it to do with young guys?
You know, it's hard. It's hard to do with anybody because it's just human nature. You know, my job as a coach and something I feel that I'm good at, I just have to tell them the truth and give them the situation. Like I tell them every day, we're fighting for our lives. I don't care what our record is. I don't care what games we won, what games we haven't won. Every day we're fighting for our lives, and we got a lot of guys who it's their last chance. You know, this is their last year of college basketball. What do you want to get out of it? So just trying to make sure that we stay with the urgency, stay with the edge, play with desperation, and compete at a high level is what I try to get out of them every day.
Coach, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Good luck. Cal, Berkeley, 4 o'clock, the powerhouse from the West Coast coming out to that's because I went to school there. Coming to Coral Gables. And so, Coach, good luck with everything going forward. Hope we have you on again soon, man. And always enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right. University of Miami head coach Jay Lucas joining us for a few minutes. And
he's got it up and running there. I mean, like you said.
Perfect guy to come in here. Perfect guy to come in here and do this. We're going to do it over. Hey, man, I love Jim Larinaga. I do. And Jim had the energy of a 30-year-old right there when he was in his, I don't know how old's Jim now? What is he roughly?
Early 70s?
Yeah. But listen, not too many years ago, what he did was just phenomenal.
Going to the Final Four was one of the great runs in
Dave,
South Florida history.
This thing, we see with the football coaches, this thing with NIL, and I'm in, I'm out. I'm not going to play any more games. I want to save my year and go make money somewhere else. And getting guys to play when they can, but they won't. And it's not for everyone.
I sat in Larinaga's office a week before he retired last December, and he talked about how difficult the NIL was and how for him to, making the change from the way he coached and the way he built. And I didn't know he was going to resign a week later, but it does tell you, look at all the guys who have retired from that era, from his era, the Krzyzewskis. And
by the way, we went up half the coach of the ACC were all complaining, all left.
Yeah.
We're up there. They go, this NIL thing's a bad idea. They knew where it was going, and they go, I'm not ready for that. I signed up to be a coach, have my recruiting class, and coach them up, and they all get their chance, and now the money.
But look at the transformation of Miami. Couldn't have. I mean, from one year to the next, it's amazing that they went a whole new team, and they're winning and 6-2 in the ACC.
Yeah, Jay knows what it's supposed to look like. He saw it up close. And interesting. So we got a lot more stuff to get to. Hey, we got our NBC. I knew it was just a matter of time. I got NBC after 20 years there. That was going to happen. Our NBA insider, Brian Geltzeiler, is going to join us, and we'll talk to him in this 8 o'clock hour as well about trades. And he'd have a shot at Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we'll ask him that and a lot more in the old NBA right now. Hey, right now I want to talk to you about Baptist Health South Florida. People ask me all the time about Baptist Health South Florida sports medicine program, usually to help them find a specialist for an injury they've had. And the good news is, yes, where do the pros go? Enter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins all use those great doctors at Baptist Health South Florida. They put together, in my opinion, since I know most of them, an all-star lineup of really good friggin' doctors. Really, really good, man. I'm talking about top specialists, top team doctors. These guys are good, man. And We got great facilities with it, but yeah, specialists for the knee and shoulder and foot and ankle specialists, hand specialists, back specialists, hip and knee replacement, Achilles. I can go on and on with the great doctors they put together to make it one of the top sports medicine programs in the country. You add in 3 great facilities in Dade and Broward, you got yourself covered, including 595 and Pine Island in Plantation. That thing's on fire right now. Also at Hard Rock Stadium next to the training facility, and also Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables. All you have to do is visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day. One goal, man, for those doctors is to get you back out playing the sports you love the most.
Text WQ
Man, that's an old one right there. All day,
way
Dan
back.
Day. That one. Wow.
The crew. Dan covers the whole spectrum.
Hey, man, that's why
of-
we love him. All day Dan Day. You get it, man. That's why he's all day Dan Day, because you never know all day what you're going to get. But I'll tell you what, my man shows up ready to go. No question about it. Where the hell did you find this all day before we get into everything, man? You went old school on me.
I don't know. It felt like some Motley Crue. I felt like keeping the upbeat and, not old school, but just kind of classic.
There you go. There you go. We've got Dave Hyde with us. We've got All Day Dan Day, and my man Jamie in the back there. Got on him a little bit this morning, but hey, he's picked it up. Life's good. He's had some scores recently. But Jamie, did we do that through? I forgot to ask you. Did you do it from the dating apps, or did you do it old school? Or you just
Found one from the dating apps. It's been going good. Seen her twice. Supposed to hang again this weekend.
Dave, I got to tell you, man, I'm not single. And I hope I'm not single again, but I can't imagine going through that app thing.
Why? It'd be a lot simpler. It'd be like you sit at a bar stool and bring dozens of people in front of you, right?
You know what?
By swiping.
Omar said something that would scare me to death. Omar said, every girl he swipes, please, anybody out there, don't get mad about this, for people get sensitive when things are said. He said, and every girl seems 20 or 30 pounds heavier in real life than they are in their pictures.
Is that true, Jamie?
I haven't had that experience.
Well, you heard Omar say that one day.
Well, there's an age gap between Omar and you.
There is a bit of an age gap between me and Omar. Most of the girls I'm with look like their
they do.
Profile. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good.
And my experience, same thing. There wasn't a lot of fluctuation, for lack of a better term, back in the day.
But then Omar turns around and says he doesn't. He likes a little meat on the bone to start with, which, you can't have it both ways. Just a matter of how much you want there. With I got to tell you,
Omar just puts it all out there, doesn't he?
Omar, listen, people ask me about Omar all the time.
Very healthy of him.
I just love, man. The guy comes on. I'm going to therapy. I'm going to Pilates. And now I find out. Our former defensive line coach hits me one day I go, what are you guys doing? Oh, we just did a Pilates class. We're on the road. Must have been the Pittsburgh game. We had an extra day. So I said, you what? And I thought, again, don't take this wrong, I thought Pilates was for women.
I do Pilates, Joe.
You do?
I do. I do yoga. I do Pilates.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I've said to my wife a couple of times, I said, hey, try and do more stuff with her. Hey, you want, and she's not interested, of course, because you have me. They call me an overdose, man. Just too much.
It was the of course that I had to laugh at. She's not interested, of course.
So so I go, hey, she goes Pilates on the weekends and during the week. I go, hey, I'd love to go to one of those classes and try it. She's telling me a little bit about it, and she goes, well, no, it's all women in my class. It'd be weird. But I don't know if she was saying that because she doesn't want me to go, which I'm guessing.
Well, here's what you can do to see if you like
How
Pilates.
many women are in your class?
Well,
are you going all guys?
Right now, what I'm doing, because my gym closed, right now what I'm doing is YouTube Pilates. And I was going to suggest you can go on YouTube, hit Pilates, and there's 1 million courses. And you can, so I do like a half hour of Pilates but I would go when I was doing it, I'd either do yoga or Pilates 3 times a week. And I really liked it.
Yeah. So what'd you get out? Is it cardio or is it stretching?
Well, with yoga is more, what the yoga I did was much more intense than the Pilates. Okay.
As far as
stretching, strength on you needed, cardio even. So Pilates was more stretching, I would just to put it in a label.
I got to stop.
But you go on YouTube, Joe.
No, I had to stop saying it because Omar and I was getting on him, and then some of the coaches went to Pilates, and I go, well, I got to stop. Now you're telling me you're going, and so guys do go to Pilates. I didn't realize.
Well, some guys, maybe we're not real.
By the way, some of the Dolphin players go to Pilates too, including our left tackle.
It's great.
Patrick Paul.
It's great for keeping your body flexible. Patrick Paul does Pilates.
Yeah.
That big body That'd be
6'8",
fascinating.
6'8"?
Huge. He's
He's a
huge.
big man, and he's doing it for.
He's a fascinating guy. He's just to talk to. Now that I hear it Pilates, it fits in
We
the.
hit a home run on a second round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris Greer. Yeah, that was a good one. We got 6-7 guys that we do like. We do like a lot. Anyway, we got more stuff to get to here coming up as we continue. Am I running super late? Or no, I'm early, right? I'm good. Jeez. They've been nailing me about this format stuff a little bit, so I'm trying to look up. And
that's good. You're
have you noticed today?
He keeps looking at the clock, and I was like, "What?"
I've never looked at a clock so much. I like to just let it go, let it rip. But trying to be a little bit more of a company man here, and stay along with all the things that they say will make it better. So we're trying. Hey, Dave. While we're talking about everything else, and we talked earlier about Belichick gets in year 2, right?
Oh, it'd be year 1 and in fact, if they took a revote, because the NFL voters are so embarrassed, I think by now there would be a big push to get him in now. But yeah, year 2 will be no brainer that he gets in. I'm reading. There's one guy has come forward, Vahe Gregorian, and I know him. He's a columnist from Kansas City, and I've known Vahe for 20 years.
He did come out and say he
came out and say did not vote for him, but not because of the morality clause.
Yeah,
it was. This gets into the process of the voting, and I don't agree with them, but so there were 5 guys available.
So now you're talking all your writer buddies, all you guys been around forever. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So Bob Kraft was eligible as the owner.
Yeah.
Belichick was obviously, and there were 3 players: Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood, I think. Okay. And he said it was the last year for these players. He voted for them because if they don't get in this year, they won't get in. And so it was a process thing for him. Not, and I'm like, look, if Belichick's on the ballot, you have to vote for Belichick. And you work from there.
That's weak.
Yeah, I agree.
That's weak sauce,
but that he's the only one I've seen come forward, and he wrote a column about it in the
he's getting
Kansas
extra
City
clicks.
Star.
Yeah, because everybody that is pro Belichick is on the hunt, trying to find out and just attack people. And by the way, in the name of more clicks, of course, good for business. Click.
I mean, look, if you're Vahe and you didn't vote for him, you're almost obligated in our business to write a column.
So if Andy Reid, because in his market, if Andy Reid was in that situation, what would he do? He wouldn't do that in his
great question.
He wouldn't do that. Was Andy Reid's going to be a Hall of Famer when he's done?
I'm
he
with
went
you.
on this little mini Belichick
I'm not backing the logic of what Vahe did, but at least he gets credit for coming out and saying.
And by the way, a lot of people are going to say, Andy Reid, you couldn't do it without Patrick Mahomes.
Good point.
Just like Belichick, and so
I will say this:
people like Andy Reid.
You look at the Hall of Fame. You look at the Hall of Fame, and the coach and his quarterback are often in there. It's not. You need both of those guys. Each of them need the other guy to look at have the career they had.
Dan Marino and Shoes won together.
Yes. Look at
Bob Greasy before that. How many games they won together?
Jimmy and Troy Aikman.
They won. It's like that. No head coach should have to say, well, I wasn't really my coaching, but look, I had to have of course, everybody knows you have to have a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback,
you're fired.
You're not going into you're getting fired. You won't be there.
I mean, you'll
be here 4 years and gone.
You can massage it for a year like Shula did with Woodstruck but as far as
that was pretty.
Yeah, you were there. That was your team. You were right there.
Yeah.
So you saw it firsthand. But to make a sustained run, that wasn't going to happen. You had to. So
we saw the next year. Willie started the year, and Danny was sitting on the bench, and the uproar from the team, and then the assistant coaches and Shoes. I know you really didn't want to play this rookie, but since day one, I think it's time. And you're putting him in the second half. We're getting blown out in all these games, and he's marching the team up and down the field. And he finally, the media wasn't like today, but
Joe, I would think also inside the team would have been louder, where you guys look at Marino throw a ball, Look at
They
Woodley
did.
throw a ball.
They did.
Look at
And
Marino.
Danny still wasn't sure of all the stuff, but he was just making throws. And like Danny broke all the. So I'm doing something. Well, you and I are doing something with Dan Marino today later. But Danny, one of the greatest things about him was, so they go 3 deep and they're going, oh, you can't make that throw in 3 deep. And he goes, really? He turned 3 deep into 2 deep. That's the best way to say it. So if there was a crack between the safety didn't get an early jump on something because he'd look you off. He learned that quickly. And then that quick release, that thing's out of his hand, and the guy takes a step and he's 2 steps behind, and you're running down the hash marks going, oh, he ain't throwing it to me. It's 3 deep. And here it comes. And it got there. It happened. He really, while people talk about all the things physically he could do, but it was all the rules changed. All the things you weren't supposed to be able to do against certain coverages, he did because of.
Was that a complicated offense you guys run?
No, but it didn't have to change no matter what you were doing. He just, I tell everybody, I remember the calls like yesterday, and not to bore people. 90 go, 86 go, 90 takeoffs, and it meant different things, but basically it was everybody taking off and running in different areas. We had plays where 4 guys ran takeoffs, 2 guys inside, sometimes the 90, 1 guy down the middle, and the 2 guys on the outside, and it put 2 safeties in a real bad situation, and so teams had to stop playing it because if you stay inside because you're reading him thinking he's going to throw it down the middle and he hits Clayton or Duper or Nat or Jimmy on the outside going down, you were done. They'd catch it and they were gone. So he just screwed up everything. They were bringing in the 25-cent piece. You've heard the nickel, the dime, and the 25-cent piece. We started the 25-cent piece. We had guys going, wow, they have enough to cover all the guys. So it was a crazy time.
His line was, I believe it was his line, there's no defense against the perfect pass.
Yeah. You can't beat a perfect throw.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. He owned some of the classics. And you know what they all screamed? I got ridiculous confidence in what I can do. All right. Hey, we got to go to break here, man. We've got more stuff to get to. Brian Geltzeiler is going to join us here in about 5 minutes. We'll talk to him about the trade deadline and everything going on with that. And so we'll find out what he thinks here with we're less than a week away from the trade deadline. Atlantic Men's Clinic, I tell you what, I've told Dave and all Dave's friends, I said, hey, guys, I know 60s, 70s. Hey, guys, I know what you're going through, man. Low T, tired all the time, don't have the energy, not as active as you used to be, find yourself on the couch, still eating the same amount of food and gaining a little bit of weight. Well, listen, if you're going through that, and usually ED follows low T, and I know Dave's got a couple really good friends, and I've told them, I said, hey, guys, you got to get on Atlantic Men's Clinic. What are you doing, man? I've told all my buds, hey, get to Atlantic Men's Clinic. Tell them I sent you. Get down there and get your testing done. You're going to knock out low T and ED. You're going to get all your energy back and your sex drive back. And if that's still important to you, I know it is me, and I guess it is you too. Hey, look at whatever it is right now you're going through, you can get rid of it. And I mean quickly by going to Atlantic Men's Clinic, set up that first appointment. You get the T, the PSA test. You meet with their professional staff. The reason you set up that appointment so they're there and you're getting the best people to explain everything to you. You tell them what you're going through. We got 7 locations in South Florida to serve you, and it works quickly. The biggest question I get is how quickly board kicks in. Quickly. 877-455-7300. Set up that first appointment. Tell them Joe Rose said to give them a call. Atlantic Men's Clinic. It works.
WQAM broadcasting live.
Welcome back. As we've been talking all morning, it's starting to pick up here. Trade deadline in the NBA. The Heat need to do something. They just can't get this thing rolling right in the middle of the pack here right now in one of those play-in spots that they don't want to be in. Find out if they're going to do something. A guy to kind of help us out here joins us a lot, Brian Geltzeiler, our NBA insider. Geltzy, nice to have you, brother. How are you?
I'm great, Joe. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, man, we're doing good. So, first of all, do you believe Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's injured right now, will get traded before the trade deadline?
I think so. And I didn't think it before yesterday. The one thing that changed yesterday, listen, guys, any thought of this whole notion that Giannis hasn't asked out, pull this leg and it plays jingle bells. The dude's been asking out for a year and a half, okay? And he doesn't want to be the bad guy with the city of Milwaukee, and I get it. So they're covering for him, and you got media members covering for him. Giannis wants out like poop through a goose, boys. He wants out of there immediately. And I think what changed yesterday is the Bucks came to the realization is that the longer we hold them, the less we're going to get for them. And listen, you could have seen that last summer, but they tried to do whatever they could do to keep the best player since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to come into their organization. So they tried everything they could, desperate moves that were never going to work, this crazy Lillard wave and stretch with Miles Turner. Even the Lillard trade itself was all done to appease Giannis. But now they've reached a point where, listen, if you don't trade him, and all of a sudden he's ready to play sometime mid-March and decides he wants to come back, you going to tell him he can't play? Maybe he wants to show other teams he's healthy. And what happens, because it's a calf issue, if he snaps an Achilles? Where are you then?
Right.
And he's out all the next year, and he can opt out the year after. Milwaukee has to do this now. And the problem for them is they're going to take cents on the dollar. The biggest issue that they have is they figured you'd get close now to the deadline, and that teams like Houston and San Antonio that have the most to give would be interested in getting involved in bidding, and they're not interested. They're not. Houston's not parting with Amen Thompson or Şengün, and San Antonio's not parting with Stephen Kessler, Dylan Harper. So right now, they start to look at the market, and they're like, wait a second, we're not going to get anywhere close, and the longer we wait, the worse it's going to be. And he is quite literally the only asset that they have. So listen, am I guaranteeing he gets traded by next week's deadline? Absolutely not. Do I think it's much more likely today than it was 3 days ago? Absolutely.
So what you're saying with Houston and San Antonio, maybe not putting all the available players they could trade on the table, sounds like good news for the Heat.
It is good news for Dave, absolutely, because it falls back. So here's how I look at the market for him right now. There's pretty much 4 teams that I think could step up and do something for him. And I think some of yesterday's news leak through Shams Charania of ESPN is performative. And I mean it in this way. If Atlanta would be willing to put Jalen Johnson and that pick that they got to let New Orleans select Derek Queen, which just for your listeners is an unprotected pick, the worst of New Orleans or Milwaukee. If Milwaukee could get that pick back in Jalen Johnson, they save face in all this. The problem they have right now is up till now Atlanta's not willing to put Jalen Johnson in. And if it's Zachary Reese-Shea is the lead piece in the deal, that's kind of mad, guys. It's a little mid, as the kids say. All right? It's not what you're looking for. So they want to invite Detroit in. And I don't know that Detroit parts with Jalen Duren. I don't think they will, but they want Detroit in the mix. They want Miami in the mix because if you can't get Jalen Johnson or Jalen Duren, Khalil Ware is a heck of a good consolation prize. Has proven this year that there's a consistent, good big man with 3-point range and the ability to protect the rim in there. So you have that as well. So I think they're involved. I think Toronto could find a way to get involved in this a little bit. They have some picks and they have some players, and Milwaukee needs somebody. Listen, that downtown area and downtown arena needs Giannis. You got to bring some guy in that you can put on the marquee. So I think Toronto may get involved a little bit there. So I kind of look at those 4 teams, Atlanta, Miami, Detroit, Toronto, as really being your primary bidders. I know people want to talk about the Knicks and people want to talk about the Timberwolves, but I know these guys in Milwaukee well enough to know without a level of meaningful draft capital, they're not trading Giannis, and neither of those teams have meaningful draft capital to move.
Geltzy, I got to ask you, besides Ware, we keep hearing about Tyler Hero, who's been in every trade for like the last 3 years, it seems like, when somebody starts talking this time of year about a trade. Is there anybody else that has interest? Is there any other players, young players, that teams might want from the Miami Heat?
Absolutely. First of all, I mentioned Khalil Ware, who would be the lead piece in one of these deals, who has really outperformed his draft position, and I think kind of grown this year and showed you, maybe not on a consistent basis, but that there's a lot of upside for him to be very good. Jaime Jaquez has had an excellent year, Joe. He's played really well, and I think as a rotation guy, teams would be interested. Yakashonis is highly touted around the league, and although he hasn't done a ton, it's interesting. Nikola Jovic has shown he can do a little something. They've got a little bit out of Pele Larson this year. There's some, and even Davion Mitchell has proven to be a capable rotation guy. The one thing that he can do here, and why they're interesting, is, okay, they have the draft capital, A. B, Khalil Ware is, and I don't mean to be disrespectful in saying this, but if you're not going to get a Castle, a Harper, a Thompson, a Şengün, a Jalen Johnson, Khalil Ware is a heck of a good consolation prize. So I think they have that. Plus, they have numbers of young players at competitive deals that they can put in a deal. So Milwaukee could not only get one really good young player, they get a couple of supporting guys for him as well to start to build the thing out. So I think Miami is in a decent position here. Are they in the best position? No, but a decent position. The one team that I think people are making a big deal over that I'd be shocked if Giannis ends up there is Golden State. I just don't see how, having a wave Butler next year or buy him out and taking a Jonathan Kuminga deal with Warrior draft capital. Now, listen, the Warriors picks may be more valuable long-term because of the fact that Curry is at the age he's at. With all of that said, I think the Warriors go in like more in the pipe dream category than the viable contender category.
Brian, when I hear you and others have, we're all debating who will be in on draft, who will be in on the trade. Johnson won't be in at Atlanta, according to you, and Houston, San Antonio, keeping guys out. What it says to me is the market that people don't think Giannis is this transformative superstar, because if they did, if a LeBron at age 30 was on the market, it'd be okay. You can have anybody on my roster, right? So is there maybe people don't look as Giannis right now as great as his name says?
For one reason, Dave, and it has nothing to do with what he does on the floor. The reason that he is not looked at in the same way is because he's a 31-year-old player that the last 2 years has gotten hurt in the playoffs, has spent a bunch of times hurt this year, and people get a little scared of big guys entering their 30s that start to get a lot of injuries. Their games don't necessarily hold up as well as they age. And I think a lot of it is teams looking is, do we want to make one of those deals and take on that risk if we don't need to? The other thing that I think you have to look at that is also devalued Giannis here is the lack of success of these types of deals. Listen, it's been a long time since a team has made one of these deals, and it's catapulted them into finals contention. It went horrible for Phoenix with the Durant deal. It went really, really bad. The cautionary tale is quite obviously the Clippers with Paul George and Leonard. But these huge pick deals, even look what it's done to the Knicks with Mikal Bridges. They gave 5 first-round picks for a glorified role player, right? And now, because you gave those 5 first-round picks for a glorified role player, all right, you don't have picks to go get Giannis. There's an opportunity cost to that. The Knicks, I want you to think about this. When you start with the Bogdanovich deal they made with Quentin Grimes, who to me is the 6th man of the year candidate for the Sixers right now, they traded Quentin Grimes and 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. I maybe would rather have Quentin Grimes at less money right now than Mikal Bridges. That's how crazy that is. Wow. So I think it's a combination of things. Giannis's age, the history of big guys in their 30s and injuries, and the fact that these deals have proven largely over the last 5 to 7 years in the NBA to not work. And I think that's something that teams, and then you look at the OKC model where they draft all their guys and they end up winning a championship. I think teams like San Antonio and Houston and even Atlanta with Jalen Johnson are looking at that model saying, I don't know that we want to push our chips in the middle of the table and take on that level of risk that we're going to have to take on to trade for Giannis at this age and at this stage of his career, and with the fact that he's been hurt so much.
Yeah. Hey, Gelty, real quickly, Ja Morant, does he get moved from Memphis?
Not now. Not being healthy through the trade deadline. The thing is this: listen, Zach Kleiman tried to frontier. Hey, we want multiple first-round picks and young player assets for John Morant. Guys, I wanted to hit the Powerball when it was $1.5 billion last month, and guess what? That didn't happen. All right, John Morant right now is a little bit toxic, and I think the one thing that turns that around is him coming out on the floor and playing very, very well for the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think right now you work on getting him back on the floor, see what you can salvage this year when he gets back, and then explore a trade in the summer. Because to my knowledge, the best offers that Zach Kleiman's gotten up till now are ones that resemble the Trae Young deal a little too much for his taste. Generally a salary dump. And keep in mind, Young was an easier salary dump because he's only got 1 year left after this year. Morant's got, I think 2 or 3. His contract goes out further. So it's a team that's going to want to take him on has to have the understanding we want to pay him too. Guys, it's interesting. I just think the second apron rules are going to make this trade deadline, as much as you have all these huge names that are being bandied about, I think it's going to be a quiet deadline because I think, the guys that teams want to trade are in that $45 to $55 million a year range. And in the second apron era where it's so punishing to be in that second apron with what you can do personnel-wise, I just don't see a lot of teams having a big appetite to take on those kinds of deals, no matter how good the players are.
Kelsey, man, that's some great stuff, brother. And I think I got you on a little coffee and a walk this morning. That's a great combination, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yo, Joe, it's you. You always get me revved up, and I love talking to the great Dave Hyde. So it's all you guys. I appreciate you having me on always. I really do.
All right, Gelty. Right back at you, buddy. Thank you so much. Brian Geltzeiler, our NBA insider, spending some time with us this morning. He goes to that morning walk, in case you're wondering. He's a morning walk guy and likes to talk while he's walking.
He's made me rethink a little. Maybe the Heat, when teams aren't offering their A trade deals, so maybe you can pull back and maybe they can do it without Bam being in it or all these number 1 draft picks.
He loves, and he claims the league loves Khalil Ware, but our head coach doesn't love Khalil Ware. That's all.
I think you love the idea of Khalil Ware. Khalil Ware, when he's getting the double-double, okay, this is what he can do. But like last night, what was it, 7 minutes he played last night? And
4 and 4.
And you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Well, listen, let's go to break here before you hit this 9 o'clock hour. You're listening to Dave Hyde. All day, Dan Day and Jamie in the back doing all our work for us here this morning. If you miss it, we always got those podcasts set up for you, man. This kid is good. He'll put a nice headline on it. You think you missed some serious stuff there, brothers. Anyway, hey, right now I want to talk to you about Recovery Unplugged. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're off the road a little bit, you know what I mean? If you're a guy, we've been to it. I've been to it about 25 times in my roller coaster of a life that I've talked about here. But whether it's losing jobs, whether it's going through a divorce, whether anything else has got you in a funk and you just can't get out of it, something's kind of gone against you and you're having trouble getting back on the road, it's okay, man. A lot of guys go through it, and it's a new year, which means a fresh start, new goals, and a chance to reset. If your mental health needs a comeback season, Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health is here to help you with a beautiful mental health residential program right here in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, yeah, Dr. Barry's going to get you rolling, man. He and his staff, they've helped over 20,000 people nationwide with expert care, music-based healing, innovative treatments like ketamine therapy for depression, anxiety, and trauma. Make this the year you put yourself first. You haven't done that for a while. Put yourself first. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplugged.com. New year, new you, Recovery Unplugged, heal out loud.
Today's topics are South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or at DoralHyundai.com. The Heat fell to the Magic 133-124. Next up, the Bulls today, Saturday, and Sunday. The Miami Hurricanes basketball team defeated Stanford 79-70. They host Cal Saturday at 4. Reuben Bain Jr. is the first Canes player to receive the Ted Hendricks Award, which is given to college football's best defensive end. Panthers, they're in St. Louis to play the Blues tonight at 8. And the Australian Open continues later today with Carlos Alcaraz taking on Alexander Zverev. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back, and good morning to everybody. 9 o'clock hour, a lot of stuff going on here. Hey, we got some tickets to give away for, we talk about all these Heat games coming up, and Chicago and the Heat are going to play 3 straight games. This never happened before. 3 straight games against the same team.
It makes no sense. From us, when they sat there and they did this schedule up, they must have said, "Oh, this is not good, but we can't get out of it."
Yeah, so we got to sprint up there and play them up there, and then we'll come home and play 2 real quickly. And so we got tickets, 2 tickets, right? 2 tickets for Sunday's game against the Chicago Bulls. Great day on Sunday to go. So right now, if you're caller, are you all right with caller number 5? Is that all right? Caller number 5 all day. Dan Day says caller number 5. He'll take it right now. And you can win 2 tickets to the game between the Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls, who are right there. Orlando, Chicago, all of them real close to the same record. And you can be at that game with 2 tickets for the game. Caller number 5 right now. So anyway, besides all that stuff, man, we've got plenty going on here. A big congratulations to Reuben Bain, who he's done it. It doesn't happen a lot anymore. I don't see it happen a lot. 3 years and done. Reuben Bain played 3 years. In his 3rd year, he's banged up. Last year, remember, got off the slow start, got injured in that Florida game.
3 plays into the season, something like that.
And fought through it, but wasn't the same guy. Comes back on a mission and just put together an unbelievable season and wins the Ted Hendricks Award as the top defensive end in the nation. And by the way, it looks like there's a lot of really good pass rushers, and 2 of them are right here. I'm dying to see. I know Reuben Bain's going to be a top pick, right? I mean, he's
certainly a top, 10?
Got to be in
5.
The top 10.
I don't know. I don't know where how it'll shake down to, who needs what and all that.
To be honest,
stuff.
I hope it's not too high. I hope he gets to go to a good team.
There will be. It's going to come up, and it happens every year. The combine, the arm length will be an issue, and if you're a Dolphin fan, you hope it's an issue. You pray that teams, a couple teams are turned off by that. Picking 11th, I mean, could he drop that far? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
At some point, though, Dave, we do this. I've seen, and you and I feel like it's a broken record. I don't want to hear about what some guy can do. I watched those games, and what Reuben did, and I mean dominating, and I'm not just talking pass rusher. That dude, motor never stops, and he's good against the run. And honestly, Mesidor on the other side, like those guys should drop the mic. Like there's no more workouts for you guys. There's nothing else. What do you want me to do? There's nothing else. Come meet with me, do background checks. Matter of fact, go meet mom and dad, Reuben Bain's mom and dad. They're easy to find. They go to a lot of practice, a lot of games, and you'll know his background and the family, and you'll realize that guy you got no problems. You are getting a dude that's all business, does very little talking, except I'll pray for you when he's getting.
He does it after the games.
He says, I'll pray for you and whoop your ass, and then I'm going to talk about you a little bit. I wish he'd
talk more. His uncle Tolbert. Now that was a good talker, a fun talker when he would play for the.
I got to tell you, his mom and dad are fans. Reuben, not that I know all the parents, but I do know his mom and dad are really, really good people. So when he does all that character stuff, he's going to be he's going to get like 20 sacks off that.
I think it will be a talk issue. Oh, is his arms too short? And maybe if you want him, you put that out there. and you're picking a
Oh, no,
little
that-
lower. This
sure
happens
that
all
happens.
the time, every draft, right?
I
Every
would
draft.
love, and there's a little homer in me here. I would love to see Maui Noah or Ruben go 11 to the Dolphins.
Absolutely. That perfect fit.
I'm not
right,
sure
for
they're
the
both
forward.
going to be there.
I don't know if either will be there.
But it could be a need at both positions. It could be a big need at both positions. Now we got to see what the Dolphins are going to do on the outside.
Dolphins don't have an edge rusher that you can count on.
We got Bradley Chubb. I just don't know how this
I don't
Bradley
know that
Chubb
he's going to
thing.
be there because of the contract. Financially,
I think he wants to be here. Bradley Chubb does like it here, and I got to tell you, I saw a side of Bradley Chubb last year. He's one of the guys when things weren't going well, is keeping this thing
he's a
together on this
great.
team. You learn more about
leader,
when things aren't going well, of guys you want around.
Good guy award from the media. That's all you need to know. He's a
got that?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no,
Should've
meaning
known
he's
that.
professional, works well with us. So, but the point being, he's a pro, and if you're rebuilding, you need a guy like that. So, but there's the injury history, there's a contract, there's a lot of things.
The
to
money
get
on the
through here.
cap is going to be an issue for. That's why I tell everybody it's hard for me to imagine. And a few of you still get mad about this, and don't get mad. But Tyreek Hill ain't coming back. I saw his cap number. There ain't no way they're going to have his ass back.
If he was healthy, he wasn't coming back because of the
If he's healthy,
contract.
they couldn't afford to have him back.
It's like 50.
They couldn't have the 10 100 meter with 10 touchdowns. It would have had trouble because he had never taken a cut and pay. He would have said, let me go. And so anyway, you've got that situation. And Maui Noah, just to that point. Now, I don't know where he's going to rank. These guys are going to rank everything a little bit differently. Some have him as a number one guard. And some have him, most people have him as a top 2 or 3 tackle in this class. I don't know about you, but the reason I'm bringing up those two, there's a shortage of pass rushers, and there is a shortage of tackles in this league, especially tackles that can play guard. or maybe if you start him at guard because you think, you're better there and your tackles are good enough till one of them gets hurt, and then you move his ass right back outside where he started for 3 years. So we get Ruben Bain and Maui Noah, 3 and done. 3, no red shirt, just 3 years and done, going to the top of the first round. And that's where Mario Cristobal's improved this team the most.
Yeah, and Bill, I remember I talked to a scout. He was at a practice, and he said when Maui Noah was a freshman, they're watching him and some other scouts, and Mario Cristobal turned to him and said, "You don't get him for 3 more years," because they all knew he was that good. You could tell physically. And now they've refined his game and technique and all that stuff to the level he's at right now. But
Mario had one of these other guys who was a right tackle at Oregon that's now one of the
Penei
2 or 3,
Sewell,
one of the 2 or 3 best right tackles in the NFL.
When the Dolphins took Jalen Waddle 6th, and you see the Detroit draft room erupt in cheers because they got Penei Sewell. And I mean, that's one of those either or questions. And I'm a fan. I do like Jalen. I think there's more meat on the bone there, but come on, Penei Sewell's like a 3-time All-Pro player. I mean, he's
every year one of the 2 or 3 best
yeah.
right tackles in football. And he seems durable. Never hear about him, huh? Seems like he always plays.
All you hear about is how good he is.
Yeah, just goes out and see that key block and for those Detroit running backs. But, yeah, this can be fun. And then the Mesidor one, to me, there's another guy really I know they're going to do something at their pro day, but what do they really need to do? They just played an extra 4 games.
Against top competition. I'm against, you got it all on tape right there in the
Watch
playoffs.
whatever game you want about the way they both play against the run. Both guys, by the way, Mesidor spent half his year before he had to play inside at 280 pounds. Jason Taylor.
I was going to say, there's the common link.
So Mesidor, you may know this story. Jason Taylor's telling me the story a few days ago while he's out recruiting. We were talking. And while he was driving, he says Mesidor had to play inside because we were shorthanded the year before. So he's playing inside at 280, playing defensive tackle. So he said, hey, how do I, this is it coming up. What do I need to do? And Jason goes, you got to get down to 260. get your quickness back, and play outside. We got plenty of defensive tackles. I want you outside. He got his weight. He did it. He went down. He dropped the 20 pounds, went down to 260, played outside. And he and Ruben work on their technique like pros do. You see the pros over there, and they're working all day. Not they're going full speed, but they're constantly doing stuff with their hands. And the rest is really nothing else to be said. Like they were the lead story, like, hey, Ole Miss gets set to face Mesidor and Bain on the out. They kind of start. And they played like it. When you get guys in big games that play big, you got your guys, man. And all the guys who were really good in the regular season showed up and played great in the 4 playoff games. Look at Malachi Toney as a true freshman. He was the man all year, and he was the man in those playoffs. He made play after play after play, whether it's punt return, whether it was taking a screen. He did it from different ways.
Very odd. You heard Malachi Toney now as a non-quarterback Heisman Trophy candidate for next year already, and you see why. But going back to Mesidor and Bain, I talked to Jason Taylor before the championship game, and both of them about the interrelationship. It was really interesting that like Mesidor will go sit in Jason's office during the season every day. He just goes sit there, and they just sit there and talk. Can you imagine the rare opportunity, really? Pro Football Hall of Famer, who's a great teacher, great guy to learn from, and Mesidor and Bain get that chance to just sort of pick Jason's brain
nonstop.
That's great.
We were at a charity event. Jason Taylor it was the Jason Taylor Foundation. We were all there. And he says, I have to take this. He went in the other room. He said, Joe, come here. So I go over there, and he's showing this video. Ruben Bain's at night working out down at UM, and he's just working on his technique. And he goes, hey, coach, is this the way you want me to do it? And he goes, we're with him all day. He goes back on his days off and goes down there in the off season. And I went, he goes, the dude's going to be, he's real. It's real.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably goes the other way too. It's a rare chance for a coach to work with 2 guys like that. And I'm fascinated. Like I said earlier in the show, you're the first person who made me rethink Mesidor early in the season when we were talking about Bain and Mesidor, and I was thinking, he's probably a 3rd round because that's what I was told. And no,
I can't imagine.
He might make it in the 1st round now.
I saw some people have him in the top 60, and I'm like, or top 50. I go, he's got to go earlier than that. I mean, by the way, he got a little nicked up, and he came right back. He wasn't missing anything. He got banged up in the Ole Miss game or the game before, and he's like he treated like it was pro football, just what it is. So anyway, we got to go to break here while we're doing all this stuff, and I'm gonna try to track Ruben down today. If the family's out there listening, I'd love to have him on after winning this award. Maybe. Anyway, right now, I want to tell you about something else that's big here in South Florida right now. That's your South Florida Chevy dealers, man. Chevy's been making and keeping a promise to America for over 100 years. We build dependable trucks for the most dependable people. Hard work is in our DNA, same as you. Chevy trucks can do it all. I never ask you to compromise. You can count on power and efficiency, dependability and capability, innovation, and over a century of truck knowledge. That's why our trucks are so damn good. Hey, it's your choice. There is a Chevy truck to meet your needs. Midsize, full-size, and heavy-duty trucks built for early starts and long weekends. Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the people who drive them every day. Chevy's been making and keeping a promise to America for over 100 years, man. We build dependable trucks for the most dependable people. Drive Chevrolet today. Built to handle all your needs, from busy work week to your weekend adventures. We got that South Florida truck for you, man. Visit your South Florida Chevy dealers today. Together, let's drive.
Let's go.
A la 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 long, 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 long. Come on. A la 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 long.
You know, we haven't talked much about this, Dave Hyde. That's the Miami Dolphins who trying to put a coaching staff together. I was really curious to see. They're going to keep some coaches. Matter of fact, we know that offensive coordinator Slowick was with the Texans for a couple years. Was I don't know what his passing coordinator title or something, somewhere between your
I don't know
quarterback coach and your offensive
he was an
coordinator.
Offensive
Yeah.
coordinator assistant this year, I guess.
Another guy to help Tua.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. I got to be careful. Not Tua's biggest fan. But anyway, I'm curious to see. But anyway, we do know that of the coaches, Mike McDaniel, not surprised. I was trying to figure when I saw he was going Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers, you know Mike's going to have total control. Like, Mike's in a great situation. Mike absolutely hit a home run on where he's going. Stable position. Harbaugh's been to the playoffs already since he's been here twice. And he said, hey, Mike, not happy with this thing. It's your baby. Take it over, which I think also meant whatever coaches you want to keep them. And if not, get rid of them. I'm cool with it. So right away, Butch Berry, offensive line coach, who's really been good. Really, really. I think he got the most out of his guys. And we still complained, right? Remember 2 years ago, was it the 8th and 9th guy? We're playing the Texans, and they got guys who weren't even on the practice squad. They literally skipped the practice squad off the streets, and they were just, you got no shot. It was so bad. And he's coaching guys up, man. He was coaching them up. So I think Butch Berry, who's going to be the O-line coach there,
I think that's the third most important. You got the coordinators, of course, but then the offensive line coach. You got to have a great offensive line coach, and not just developing players, getting them to play. Because you talk to the coaches, the players coming from the college game aren't the same now, and they got to be able to learn the college.
But it's a coordination of five guys.
Yes,
it's five guys, so it's not a shot at the other 25 coaches on the staff. It's just the offensive line guy. He's responsible for the center, the two guards, the two tackles. And you know you're not going to play unless you're the Buffalo Bills with the same five every year. We're always down. Before you know it, well, right off the bat, we lost two offensive linemen. We lost a right guard and right tackle this year in the first game.
We're talking about Mike McDaniel stepping in and working with Justin Herbert. How about Barry going and now all of a sudden he's working with Alton Slater? That's
22 and 26
assuming
years
they're
old.
Healthy. Assuming they're healthy.
They're going to be back. And when they are, like he's going, oh, my God, pinch me. Two high first-round picks that are really good players. I think I'm going to say Wisconsin, Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. But
I think Northwestern Notre Dame.
Oh, Northwestern Notre Dame. You're right. Good job. Slater was a Northwestern guy. So anyway, he goes there, and I'm just curious. It won't be defense. It'll only be his guys that if he's interested in Frank Smith, is he interested in having him as a position coach or somebody else?
I saw Frank Smith, I think, interviewed in Philadelphia.
I can see it.
Yeah. Nobody wants that Philadelphia job. Or people aren't. That you would think how good they are and where they've been, it'd be a good one to fill. But then you keep hearing stuff that Jalen Hurts does not want to have a NFL style offense. He wants it very simple. And I don't know, I'm repeating what's being said nationally because I have no idea, but there's something must be wrong with that situation.
I know the OC took all the heat and for good reason. Some of those basic plays they ran at the end of the game.
But is it the question then, is it him or is it the quarterback saying, I don't want to run complicated?
That is fair.
And that's why you wouldn't want to take it because all the blame goes to the offensive coordinator if you can't transform that offense.
So the other part is Jalen Hurts good enough to tell the team what he wants and doesn't want. He's won a Super Bowl.
Well, he's got a $50 million. He's signed for a long time out there.
He got the big money. Yeah. He got it. He definitely.
And he had problems with the wide receiver there.
Well, nobody wants to come out and say it, but that didn't look like a great relationship to me either.
So
I've seen great relationships. That didn't seem like, no, we're cool with each other. We're good. We just want to win. All I know is they got a lot of talent for whatever they're. could Jalen be where he just doesn't want to do or wants things simple? I don't know all that stuff. I just, they got a lot of talent.
Joe, for all the talk about the Dolphins and who's going to coach where and all that, the big issue to me is redoing that personnel department, the front office. And they start, obviously John Eric Sullivan's GM. He's going to have the chance to redo. He's already hired an assistant, but all the way down to the scouts. I was told weeks ago they've looked at, okay, we need someone to redo.
Yeah.
Take a look at this and decide what we need to do, because
you better hurry, because your scouts in different parts of the country are really important jobs. They're doing all that background check stuff and making sure you're getting the right guys, and this love football thing, which should just be a given, that you put that uniform on and you pinch yourself and go, I can't believe this is unbelievable. You talk about as a little kid, and here you are, that every guy would love football.
But not everybody loves or sport. Look at, for instance, again, not the Khalil Ware issue is, can they get him to focus and play hard and all that? And you don't want to have to. The Dolphins have had so many background issues on players.
In fairness, a lot of it before Chris Greer. It wasn't just Chris Greer. He was here, but
he wasn't the final answer to it, right?
Yeah, but we did. We did a bad job. We did a bad job on a couple of high picks. Not only high picks, but guys became kind of national stories with some of their issues. Jonathan Martin.
Deion Jordan just
got a coaching job.
Division III. Good for him.
I could not believe that.
That's
good
great.
for him,
That's
man.
great. We always sit here, we talk about guys in the moment. Oh, well, he's a bad guy, or not necessarily a bad
Neither
guy.
one of those guys were bad guys.
But sometimes you just need to move on in life and a different chapter. And here he is, a coach. Good for him.
There have been bad guys that weren't great guys to be around. I learned early in the year when we're out there who to stay away with and who you can talk to. And if you get blown off, and it's going to happen, you get blown off by one guy and you try to talk to him and he just whiffs on you, then you just go, okay, leave him alone. Go play well, man. We need you. But remember, when you don't play well, we're going to be all over your ass. So
you buy some benefit of the doubt, whether it matters to you or not. But if someone's nice to you, generally you're going to be nice to them on some level,
what I like to do, man. So I like to, when a guy plays well or makes a play and sees a little down about something, say, hey, man, that was a bad call. He goes, it was. He saw it. Or, hey, great hustle, man, on that, that backside run, and guys appreciate that instead of just the normal stuff. You don't just stand there, you just keep going, but little compliments, and they'll go, hey, man, appreciate it. I remember what you said or something. But there are a lot of guys that, and that's just the world we live in. They want to be left alone. They want to play football. They listen to their coach and leave them alone. That's it. If I happen to sit by you on the bus, don't talk to me. I know you're laughing. I'm not laughing.
You've had guys say, don't talk to me.
Well, I've just had guys sit next to me and I wouldn't say something, and it was just Jalen Ramsey.
You knew
not having it. Then you got guys you can bust their chops. And then some of the guys on practice squad, they sit in the back and they'll ask you. And one guy was asking us about money and, hey, what do you do with your money, if you don't mind me asking? Like, the guy was interested.
I spend it. I spend my money.
So, well, which life you want to find out about? Like, but some guys are, hey, man, just curious. You guys been around. And it was an interesting conversation to a hotel. I had to think which way we were going. We weren't getting ready for a game, but to the hotel. And you're talking about some of those things. So you get a little bit of everything, man. Get a little bit of everything, as you know, from covering the team. And you got some guys that just have had bad experiences other places with media, and they bring it here. And they're like, hey, man, don't really want to deal with them unless I have to.
Yeah, but you also get some guy, look, 50-something guys in a football locker room. Everybody's different. Some people loved to talk to the media, and I don't mean they sit here fun, but they'll sit there at their locker, and you come over and talk to them. They're very nice, and they seem to enjoy it, or they put up with it.
The guys that read everything, that's where the problem is. That's just talking to Omar about this same topic. The guys that listen to everything and watch everything, especially social media, because they're all watching the social media stuff. So when you or Omar or Alan Poupard or anybody else, Joe, any of the guys send something out, they know they're going to hit you when they see you.
Well, there's a difference in my world right now is it used to be your column, you write, they'd read that. They'd at least look at the headline. Now it's Twitter. Now it's social media more than for the players, more than like I remember Marino once walking by him. He goes, "Hey, you ever going to pick us to win?" And that was sort of, stop and talk to him. And he's half joking, half serious, but the point was now it's not really looking at the column, but the Twitter. What would you say on Twitter?
Well, there's a lot of stuff, man, those guys put out. I know they have to keep you guys that are, I'm just not very good at it, so I don't attempt to do it. Jamie, my man.
You don't have to do it.
Jamie, my man back there, does everything for me right now.
Gotcha.
But, man, those guys see that stuff. When you get some thought at the last second about how you feel about somebody or something, about their play, and you talk to somebody and it said the guy's the worst at his position.
I'll give you an example. When the whole Belichick thing broke, I put on Twitter, Don Shula would approve of this. And people, you agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. But Shula, I was at Shula's house in Indian
I didn't know how to answer that yesterday, but Don Shula would have absolutely agreed since
absolutely.
You said it. He wouldn't have wanted
I interviewed him at his house on Indian Creek, and we were talking. I asked about something about Belichick catching up to him in wins, and he goes, "You mean Belichick?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa!"
Somebody asked me who started that, and I wasn't so sure. It might not have been our.
Yeah, it was. I was the first one because Peter King. I put it down low in my column, and I got a call from a couple Dolphin people. You need to protect them from using stuff like that. And I said to him at the time, I said, "Do you want me to write that?" And he goes, "Write what?" I go, "Belichick." And he goes, "Well, that's his name, isn't it?" And I was like, "Okay, okay. Well, I gave you a chance to." Anyways,
you remember
Peter King picked up on it nationally from, I don't know who he was with at the time, but and then it became a big story.
Do you remember when they had the top 100 out at Hard Rock Stadium?
Yeah.
Did you notice two guys when they were grouping them up that weren't standing next to each other? One guy was on one side in his wheelchair, and the other guy was standing on the other side.
Yeah, so I agree. I have no doubt Don Shula would have approved this pause for Bill Belichick.
I still believe that the one thing Belichick, he's done it all, man. I mean, my God.
I would have voted him in. I'm absolutely.
I think Belichick, if he's to tell the truth, and guys up in Boston think the same thing, he won the all-time record. He wanted to stay around and get the all-time record. He's knocking on the door, man. 14 wins away for total wins, playoffs, and regular season.
He's a football historian.
He wanted that. And by the way, Don Shula wanted to keep it.
Yeah, they were competing in a bizarre kind of way. Shula still. Now Andy Reid's the next one. I also saw somebody put out there that Sean McVay is like 40 wins ahead of Shula at his age, which is like 40. So it's still a long way to go. But
I don't think anybody's going to want to coach.
That's the question, isn't it? Always look at Andy Reid.
You know why? Because these top coaches are getting $20 million now. The world of NFL football, the top head coaches are getting $20+ million. I hadn't heard until Belichick. I found out at the end of his career.
Yeah,
good reason. I mean, if there's a guy should have been paid.
Well, there's no salary cap on coaches.
No,
so
that's why you got 26.
The larger point, owners are making so much money now that what's 20 million to them? And then to the point also, what's buying out 20 million or 10 million in Mike McDaniel's case?
A lot of buyout this year for
nine
Stephen
coaches,
Ross,
19 coaches in the last 2 years have changed in the NFL, which says owners are buying out contracts, and they're fine with that. So that tells you how much money is involved in the league right now.
Dave, let's go to break here. We got a little bit more to get to. When we come back here, we'll talk a little bit more about the National Football League right after this.
WQAM broadcast.
All right, welcome back. As we got a little bit of time left here, and appreciate everybody being with us. And Dave Hyde in today. Hollywood will be back tomorrow. Late night for Hollywood. 9 o'clock basketball game last night.
They're winning though.
They are winning. They don't care what time you play.
Yeah. They're
no, Jay Lucas says doesn't matter what time we play. We'll play at 10 if we have to.
Well, 6-2 in the ACC is kind of a. I watched the Syracuse. I didn't watch last night. I watched Syracuse on, was it Saturday? And
you know what's what? I was shocked. It was right after the national championship game. They lost to Florida State.
Yeah,
who's just not been very good. But they got him again up there, and so we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, it's been real interesting. So we're just down the hall. Guess what they're all talking about? Belichick and the girlfriend.
And the girlfriend? Not Belichick and the Hall of Fame.
No, well, it started with Belichick
it's still
and the
Belichick
girlfriend.
And the girlfriend.
Somehow she gets tied into everything with him.
Is she to blame?
So let
for
me
this?
ask you a crazy question. Not that it matters, and I'm burned out on the whole Belichick and Hall of Fame. He should be in. He should be in.
Yeah, I think most people agree, other than 10 voters.
Well, might have been more than that. Might not just. You're right. He needed 40 or 50. Could have been. I don't know what the number is. So I don't blame those guys, because if they come out, you said the one guy from Kansas City, probably all guys you know, because right, all writers from all the different NFL.
I
cities.
assume Bill Polian's one of them, although he says he didn't. So there's two.
No, he said he didn't know how he voted. Why would you say that?
Yeah,
Does he get a hall pass for being 80 on that?
I would love if he just said, I didn't vote for him. You know why? Because he cheated. Now, just say what
I was with the Colts, and I was
say
pissed
whatever
at
you
him.
think, right? Yeah, that'd be fine.
You're going to get crushed, though.
Yeah,
the Jimmies of the world.
Well, he's going to get crushed anyways, saying I don't know, right? I don't know.
The Brady's are going to go. You're going to have a group going, are you kidding me? 333 wins, 6 championships, Super Bowl 9 years, and absolutely dominated. The Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills all the other teams were our beatings. I mean, they killed.
That's a hard one to defend.
20 years.
But down the hall, they're talking about the girlfriend still.
And the girlfriend. So it is true. So my wife met Belichick's wife. So we're driving home. Now we got a little time to drive home after we got in our cars, and long night, and UM fans are all walking out together. We're all walking out, and the celebration's going, and the Indiana fans are celebrating. The fireworks are going off, and we're all walking out. And we get in the car. And I was curious. I go, here's a woman that's not a big sports fan. She's not. She wouldn't be mad. My wife. We get in the car. And now we had all these characters, and we had a lot of different stuff. We had Hall of Famers. We had politicians, some of the most powerful people in this country. Well, a little bit of everything in that thing. And you go, well, she started with Belichick's wife, or girlfriend. He didn't marry her yet. That's where he started.
Of all you had Marco Rubio, you had Jimmy with his good
Marco
personality.
Rubio and half the Secret Service of Washington, D.C. That's the safest place to be was my box. My box, you couldn't come in and yell, "You suck, Joe Rose."
So
you would have been, I get him.
Was she pro or con on the girlfriend?
What do you think?
Well, that's why I asked.
But it wasn't that she wasn't like nice. It's just, well, I mean, everything.
It's awkward.
She's under a microscope, and the fact that Belichick's older than I am, and she's young enough, she'd be my wife's youngest daughter, and she comes in and Bill this and Bill that. It was like 49 years. There's not too many women are going, I think that's beautiful that Bill found somebody late in life that he's in love with. That could be my friggin' granddaughter,
Would you feel better if the voters, somebody came, I had to penalize him 1 year for this relationship he's in. You feel better about that?
How about if he was getting ready, somebody goes, we're going to hire you back in the NFL. And Bill, we're willing to let you run a lot of things, but we can't have her running around behind you telling us we need to do this and that. And
are you surprised nobody interviewed? Now, we don't know back channels. Maybe somebody reached out to him. Are you interested in coming back to the NFL? because it wouldn't look good for him in North Carolina. But
he got Rex Ryan on TV going, Belichick should get
Buffalo.
the Bills job.
Yeah. Are you surprised nobody made a run at him or at least talked to him that we know of?
Can I just say this?
His time's done.
Who's one of the most powerful guys in the Raiders organization right now?
Yeah.
Did he call him?
If he wasn't going to,
he knows him better than anybody, and they've been very honest. Tom Brady's going to be calling a lot of shots, including this Mendoza call.
But remember, Belichick also fired Brady. He said, "No, you're done." And sometimes those wounds don't heal very quickly.
Tom went to bat for him yesterday.
He did.
Tom went to bat for
but that's
his guy.
different. That's different.
It is different
than saying come and coach my team. So
Bill's a little just, you know what? And it's okay, man. Bill's just a little awkward socially.
It's like Nick Saban. That's why they're such great friends.
And he is too a little bit. Although at least Bill, or at least Nick, we're getting to see a little.
You'd see the personality.
McAfee's bringing where I'm going. I like Nick Saban again.
I like covering Nick Saban. I've said this before, and I know we've talked about this, but
you own it.
Well, that one quote, but
let me say how you said that again. Let me see. Just pretend I'm Nick Saban. How'd that go down that day?
Remember, he was. If we're replaying, he was dancing around the subject, and I just said, "Why don't you just say you're not going to coach Alabama if that's the case?" And he goes, "I think I just did." And I go, "No, you didn't really say that." And he goes, "Well, I guess I got to say it. So I'm not going to coach." But
say it. But say what he said. I mean, I love it.
I'm not going to coach.
It's famous.
I'm not going to be the coach of Alabama. I wish not going
to be the Alabama coach. Is that good?
I wish you could patent.
Then he comes in. He finishes that up. Now you've got him pissed off.
He was hot.
So Harvey walks in. We go back. He goes right back to do his NBC coaches show, his wrap up of the year. And he was one salty cat. Yeah. But I got to tell you, for a guy that knew before that press conference, and he definitely knew when he was doing TV with me, his ass was gone. But he actually did a show. We couldn't run it, and he got up and he left. And he was salty because he was all over Harvey.
Yeah.
And God bless Harvey.
Well, Harvey's the best. He's a very good strategist.
Harvey's like, hey, Joe, he's a great guy. You missed out on Nick. He was a great guy. I said, no, he's a good guy. Now I see it. He's a good guy.
But the larger point, I thought he was a great guy to cover because he would tell you what he thought about football, his philosophy of life. He'd tell you background stories. When I was growing up, and my dad owned a gas station in West Virginia, and
he did do that.
And so, I thought he would have succeeded if he got the quarterback. That's what you need in the NFL.
I agree. And by the way, he agrees. If I would have taken maybe the other guy, whoever's fault it was. Hey, that's going to do it. Dave Hyde, this has been fun, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We got one more day in the week here and a weekend with this beautiful, cool weather. All day, Dan Day. Thank you, brother. Jamie, you're a star back there, brother. We appreciate everything. Hey, everybody, have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.